Welcome to Since Rookie Season,
Well, the summer before.
a heated rivalry fan companion podcast where your hosts, Amanda, Lau, and Lauren, break down the episodes from the Crave Canada television series, the Game Changers novels, and various media surrounding this fan phenomenon.
Today, we're looking into episode 6, The Cottage, the final episode of season 1.
No!
Stay with us to melt and cry at the most
Yeah.
perfect cottage.
All right, welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed your week off. I know that we did. We, as always, are trying to determine what makes heated rivalry so addictive. Like, what's in this story and the way that it's given to us that allows for this amount of obsession and rewatching and screaming about it on threads and all of that good stuff. And today, we're going to talk about the last episode, which is so sad because we don't get any until 2027. Like, that's so
don't remind me.
So sad. It also means that we need to get creative the rest of the year.
Yeah, we're excited
Yes.
to talk about what we're doing next, which we'll
Yeah.
explain at the end of the show. So
Yes, we have so
Yeah.
many exciting episodes for y'all. Shout out Lauren's parents who apparently missed us last week. Shout out to them. Hi, I hope y'all are.
Hi, Lauren's parents. I don't know you, but I appreciate you.
I've
Oh my
met them a
God,
couple
no.
times. They're nice.
Amanda's met my parents, and like every time Amanda meets my parents are like, "Wait, is this like a partner?" And I'm like, "No, this is a man."
And if you don't have allegations, you're not true friends.
And you
Yeah,
know what? If we don't have allegations, like me and Haley probably have like the craziest allegations from people that we went to high school with because all we do on Instagram when we put stories up is like, "This is the love of my life," and she
Yes.
is.
Friends
Yes.
are the love of our lives.
Yeah,
Go
I like to say
friendship.
that Amanda and I have like a Connor Story Hudson Williams relationship.
Absolutely.
Cute.
We are
Or-
doing that, those freaky theater movements. We're absolutely doing the most insane adventures together.
I'm
Oh.
Hudson and Amanda is Connor.
Yes.
Although I don't know if
confirm.
Amanda could ever be a clown. Like, I don't know if that's ever been in your purview.
I'm only a clown in the, like, I've made an ass of myself kind of way.
Yes,
You know-
though we love that about you. Like,
I'm cute enough that I can pull it off.
I don't think any normal person could pull off the clowning. Like, that is, I've watched videos of it and I get like such bad secondhand embarrassment from it. I can't
Same.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me.
Not for me. At least he's not a
Oreo?
clown in the show. Oh, I mean,
Well,
you know.
sometimes.
Listen,
Maybe a little.
I just wanted to add very quickly that I forgot to recommend everyone a book that I think
Ooh.
is super on topic because we're talking a lot about dementia and Ilya's burden emotionally and like economically with his father being sick. And there's this beautiful Black feminism book written by one of my professors from my PhD, Jennifer Nash, and her book is called How We Write Now, and it is Black feminist theory, and she weaves her analysis of texts and cultural artifacts with her own experience as she sees her mother deteriorate through like Alzheimer's. And there's a lot of like thinking around womanhood in Black spaces and knowing that you have a hereditary condition that you might be seeing your own future when you see your mother go through that, and you have a daughter, and she's a great writer. So we're gonna put that on the show notes that I know Amanda wanted to remind everyone about. But yeah, it's a great book to think around what it means to see someone that a parent just start to forget who you are, who other people are, who they are, and feel lost and scared sometimes because they cannot remember what is going on.
Awesome.
Hell
Thank you
yeah.
for that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, we'll put it in the show notes for sure.
Yeah, so speaking of show notes, I know I mentioned it at the end of last episode, but I wanted to put it at the top of the show as well. For most of our episodes, I think starting at the second or third one, we started having more comprehensive show notes. Shout out Lauren for helping me collect those. Shout out Lauren and Lau for that.
Yay.
But these are different links and references that we make. So for their readings, there's some like technical hockey details. There's stuff about like Haitian history and some of the political cultural dynamics and important context there in case you want to know more about what we're talking about, or even like the goalie fights that I mentioned one time about Bruins and the Panthers question mark when they were fighting. There's a clip there of that. So again, I wanted to shout that out. We put effort into those show notes of making hyperlinks and stuff. I have stayed up till 2 a.m. multiple times trying to make sure everything's in order. So if you want, you can check that out. That would be so great. And this is just a little side note about my recording today. My landlord is doing some renovations in the unit next to mine. So if there's any random noises, I will try to edit them out. But I'm really sorry if you hear some fucking hammering or something. I don't know. I wanted to put that here so you're not wondering. Okay, episode overview. What do we have?
So
a
we're
cottage.
basically going to the cottage. Yeah.
Damn
We're
right
going
we
to the
are.
cottage.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this is amazing because when this episode came out, it was like around New Year's Eve. So my partner and I were at some sort of cottage in Colombia, in Antioquia. It was in the middle of the mountains. It was from some family member that lended to us because nobody was using it. And we just like got to experience nature and privacy, and it was super fun. So I watched The Cottage from a cottage.
Wow.
The dream.
Cottageception almost.
Uh-huh. And I was sending y'all on the Discord like a lot of pictures because I was like, this is crazy.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
I watched it because it came out the day after Christmas. I stayed up until midnight when I was in Indianapolis to watch it. I was supposed to watch the episode with my mom, but then I was like, I literally cannot wait. So I watched it by myself in the bedroom at my parents' house.
Wait,
with, like, my
you
headphones
watch
on.
Heated Rivalry with your mother?
She listens to the podcast, bro.
My mom listens to the podcast, Lau.
I know. My mom listens to the podcast. We don't watch it
I
together.
love mom.
Well, we mostly watched it separately, but then we did watch it together. It was like there was a point where I was like, I feel kind of weird about this, but also like it's my mom. Like at this point, like I'm a 30-year-old person. Like it doesn't really like faze me anymore.
That's awesome. I might put my mom on it. I don't know if she'd like it. She
No,
might.
she would not. She might call
not-
you and be like, Amanda, are they gay?
She would do that. She would call me and ask if they were gay. I would say.
Amanda, are they gay?
But she would like the love in it though. I think she'd appreciate that. I watched this. You said it came out the day after Christmas. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember if I watched it.
You were
at
moving.
home or okay, but there were a couple days that I was visiting my mom for Christmas, and then I left on the 26th. So I might not have watched it until after I was back from my initial trip to where I moved to, because I went back to Orlando after Christmas for New Year's, and so I might have watched it when I was back in Orlando. Just on my own.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it took you a few days, so you were like, I'm silencing every single message
that's so
everyone
true.
is sending. If my memory,
Your memory is better than mine because that's so true.
my memory is very good.
Yeah.
Be careful because everything you say, I'll remember.
It's true. Yeah, I was late because I was moving and it sucked real bad, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I hated it, but I'm here now and I love it here. And I'm here at least now through June, which is great. I got an extension on my job.
Yay!
Contract, so anyway, yes. So Lao, 2017, the summer. Take us there. Tell us about it.
Sure. It's not a great year. Let's start by saying that.
Yeah.
So, summer 2017, it gets better like around September, but summer, the Israeli government announces that gay couples will not be allowed to adopt in Israel. We will not fall for your rainbow washing propaganda, Israel. We see you for what you are. I know.
A piece of shit.
There's no gay marriage in Israel. If you get married, outside of Israel and then you go back, then it is recognized, but you cannot get married there, and gay people cannot adopt. So for everyone, falling for Israel is super queer friendly.
Ah,
It is
hello?
not,
It's
because
not.
there is
It's
no
not.
pride in genocide.
Nope.
Also, in another lovely government, US President Donald Trump announces a ban on transgender people serving in the US military. But Ireland, as always, is here to save us. Because Leo Varadkar is elected Taoiseach, the head of government of Ireland, and he becomes the youngest and first openly gay leader of Ireland. So shout out to Ireland for always showing up for us, because the US and Israel and other governments are making it super hard
Super hard.
since
Super
forever.
hard.
Well, in summer of 2017, I turned 16 and I know. I got my driver's license, but also on my 16th birthday, my ex-girlfriend cheated on me on my birthday during band camp, and it was a whole thing. It was nuts. And I only found out later on Tumblr. It was a whole mess. It was crazy. And after that, I was still in a different queer relationship, but
Mhm.
that was a crazy year for sure. Where were y'all into the
Well,
summer of
you got your
2017?
driver's license at least.
It's true. It's true. It was a different type of freedom, but still things were a mess.
You were literally Olivia Rodrigo's driver's
I
license.
got my license.
Yes.
My driver's license.
I actually had just moved to Chicago in summer of 2017 and like fell in love with summertime Chicago. If you've never been to summertime Chicago, please
Oh,
come.
it's
It's
amazing.
amazing. It's
Mm.
beautiful. It's gorgeous. Like it's the best time you'll ever have in your life.
They have so many things at the park.
Yes, it honestly
love
makes
it.
like this part of Chicago when it's like disgusting as hell and 20 degrees like so worth it, and like you cherish it so much more. So yeah, I had just moved to Chicago. I broke up with the man that I was dating and I started to go into my slut era of living
Hell
in
yeah.
Chicago, where I was very promiscuous. And you know
Woo.
what? 22-year-old Lauren, we love that for you.
I was happy. I mean, my partner was about to go and live abroad, but we were having a good time before that. Yeah, it was a fun summer. It wasn't summer technically, but yeah, you know what I mean. So it was cool, nothing to report, which is wild for me. So we're happy about that.
Love that. Love that.
Very cool.
Shane and Ilya are about to go to the cottage for the first time. But before we go there, we got to talk about our boy Scott Hunter.
Yeah.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah. And the implications of everything that happened after last episode.
After last episode. So this is like a month after the Stanley Cup finals happen.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Hunter gets the award for being most valuable player in the league, which is voted by all of the other players in the league. And he has this very cutie little speech that Kip and all of his friends are watching at the Kingfisher.
Yeah, and we get a smaller framing on our screen, so it's like TV Inception, like you're watching TV inside your TV. So it's I like it because even the quality has like this live streaming
Yeah.
air to it, and I really like how Scott goes from his hands on like the thing where he has his notes to his pockets to the thing again, like supporting himself while he's talking, and the way his voice breaks when he says lonely. And
Maybe.
then he has this I love this sentence, fear is a powerful thing. And I know that after that he's like, and I found the thing that was even more powerful, and that is like his love for Kip. But this is a series about fear, among other things. Fear is like a main theme throughout this series. Like not only the TV series, the whole Game Changer series is about fear and about what fear does to you and how it keeps you inside a closet. So I really like that. I was reading this amazing memoir, Hia Butch Blues, last week or the week before that, and the author has this sentence that, like, I had to stop the audiobook to think about it because she says I had started. She's talking about early adulthood and how
Mhm.
she's coming to terms with her with their sexuality. And the phrase is, I started seeing coming out as inviting in. And I feel that
Mm.
describes this speech so perfectly because he is inviting people into this reality that is
Mhm.
queer people in sports and queer people coming out. So I really like that idea of we're always coming out of the closet. We're always going outside and trying to fit in. And sometimes framing it as I am gifting you an invitation into who I am. It's way better, I think. I like it. I felt inspired by that, and I see it when I see Scott doing this speech.
Mhm.
Yeah. It reminds me also of Grover in the Percy Jackson series where he says hope is a powerful thing. Because I've just
Uh-huh.
been holding on to that and like repeating that. And so when he said fear is a powerful thing, I was thinking about hope is a powerful thing. So I've just been thinking about hope and love as overcoming
Mm-hmm.
fear.
Yeah. I think starting off with Scott's speech, because it's not something that you really get in Heated Rivalry. It's only something you get. Is it even in Game Changers? It's in Game Changers, right?
Yeah.
I think it is, yeah. Because Kit's
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the audience there.
Yeah, so like it is a really good juxtaposition between like Scott's story and how like even though Ilya and Shane's story is different and they're like it has a different pathway to it because of just who they are, it still shows that like love is still a very powerful thing for them. So
Mm-hmm.
we then kind of move to Shane picking Ilya up from the airport. Shane is super nervous. I love this airport look on Ilya. It's so good. I mean, like I've said before, there was not enough backwards hat representation in this TV show,
Mm-hmm.
and this is perfect. I also just think Ilya in all black is like the hottest thing to me. It's a really good contrast with his very blonde hair. So like anytime I was like thinking about this because we did a post on Threads for like Connor Story's birthday, which was like a couple of days ago. And I was like, oh, all of the Ilya looks that I love are when Ilya's in all black. And I was like, and you know what? I think that says something about me. I don't know what it is,
You're a
but
And
simple
you're right.
person.
I'm
You're
a simple
you
person.
yeah.
I want a
I
goth baddie.
I think he looks super hot. I agree. Even though I
Mm-hmm.
don't usually like the backwards hat. But I laugh so much at the famous people outfits. You know, like
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
the dark
like they
glasses.
totally
But
noticed him.
no, but I have a friend who's kind of famous in Latin America and Spain. He's a musician, he's in a band. And the way him taking off his glasses makes him invisible to fans. It's crazy. You know, like every single time we go out in public, he will use contact lenses, and that way we won't get bothered.
Okay, that
Really?
is crazy because I was gonna say like in Ottawa where like hockey is the like lifeblood of that country. Amanda sent me a tweet last night that it was like, how does a team where your country is ice for 3/4 of the year lose to a team that has alligators in their nation? Like, how does that
That one
happen?
got such a surprise laugh out of me. I was in bed, like I had a few minutes to spare before I need to put my phone down. Let me go on Twitter, and I saw that, and I hadn't laughed that hard all day. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So like I just feel like Ilya would have gotten noticed. I feel like Ilya does not also like this is a man who's been in like tabloided to hell, I'm sure. But I also think about how like Sidney Crosby in Pittsburgh, like genuinely like people go out of their way to like not recognize him. Like he like is just like a normal everyday figure. Like people like have kind of made it like this like silent like agreement that you like don't bother Sidney Crosby when he's like out and about in Pittsburgh. Like you don't stop him when he's at the grocery store or anything like that. So I was like, maybe they're giving Ilya that like same kind of like don't bother the NHL player when he's out and about.
And also, like, I always laugh at this, at the if you put glasses, but when I saw it in action and I saw it work, I feel so stupid
You feel so stupid, right?
because people actually just people don't see. People
Yes.
just
No, I
see
mean,
what they expect. Like, so if you take one element from the equation, you can fool people. And I
right.
love
And
it.
Wow.
like I guess like and it's also like a you're not expecting him to be in Ottawa. So,
Uh-huh.
like, why would he be there? But
Exactly.
the NHL stan girlies on Twitter were going insane about seeing Ilya in Ottawa. Like,
Yeah.
It's true.
somebody said something about it, but like when every time I fly in and out of LA when I've gone, I'm always like, oh my god, I could see a celebrity at LAX, and then that makes me like double like check everybody, like
That's
because
so funny.
potentially I could run into a celebrity at LAX. But like I think actually in my brain I'm just like making shit up,
See, I was
Yeah.
always terrified to see people in Orlando because there were some problematic people in Orlando that I was like, I don't want to be at the same bar as you. Also, now I'm in the Sydney Sweeney scare zone. Like, apparently Sydney Sweeney is at some of the bars that me and my friends have been going to down here. Not gonna say where in Florida, but she has a house. Literally, she has a house on the water. Like down, we pass it on our field days leaving the canal. Like it is like 3 blocks from
Ew.
Ugh, I
somewhere
hate
that
it.
You
I
need
attend every
to
day.
do a vibe cleanse after
I need
Yeah.
to go
every
like throw
field day.
jeans on that and be like, African Americans picked cotton, which makes jeans, you stupid, ignorant bitch.
Anyway, we get a bird trill in the title card of this episode. I don't know if you heard
Alone!
it. Yes, which I thought was like such a sweet note. Like you only pick up on it on your rewatch because of course you're rewatching this, but that was a fun little note. Lau, do you want to tell us about this song that plays?
Yeah. So, but before that, Amanda, I know you love the Ilias little okay, okay,
I do.
and he does it
I
again.
do.
Okay.
There is a what's it called? A compilation of every okay in every
Okay.
that he ever does in the show, and it's one of my favorite videos of just okay. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So we get this song called L'Anarchie des jours heureux, the anarchy of happy days, or of joyful days, it would be, by Le Bronze. And
I love that song.
I really like this because the lyrics are talking about. So it starts with Il fait toujours chaud avec nous, notre beauté fait mal à celle du soleil. On existe maintenant et c'est tout. Un tigre exalté sur nos corps vermeils. And it's talking about how it's always warm when we're together, like with us, and our beauty makes the sun like hurt. It hurts the sun's beauty, and I really like it because the first time we see these two together, first scene of the series, it's cold as hell. It's freezing, and suddenly we have this. Il fait toujours chaud avec nous. So now every time we're together is warm, and I
Oh,
really like it. I
God, that's
felt
so
like
gay.
That is so sweet.
I felt it was like as such a beautiful parallel. Not only because it's summer, and during the summer we get to be ourselves, and we get to go to the cottage and not be like these celebrities or anything, just Ilya and Shane together, but also because it comes full circle for me, and the song is beautiful. It has this like a carpe diem energy about like seizing the moment and to like eat it up and do everything and like just enjoy life. And also the voice like texture or color of the artist, it communicates both yearning and lightness. So it's setting up the tone for the episode so well. It's like we're no longer in this like very electronic music, percussion, anxiety inducing soundtrack that we used to get during intimacy scenes between these two in the
Right.
past. Now we get to be soft, we get to be fluid, we get to be warm, which is a great segue to the whole I would like to relax with you. And
Yeah.
I love it. I think that Jacob Turney is a mastermind in how he announces at the beginning of the episode what the tone is gonna be, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
except for episode 4, that it was made for us to like feel very very high and happy, so we will crash down and cry by the end. I think every single episode apart that one, it's been very clear on what you should expect and what the vibes are. from the first seconds or minutes of the episode. So I just love this moment. I love this song. I think again that to me is super important that we're getting music in different languages, so we don't get a fully anglophone soundtrack. And I think people are diversifying their playlists because of this, so that's cool.
Yeah, no, I love this song. It's definitely one of like my most replayed from the album, even though I don't understand a word they're saying. I just like love the French music that's a part of this like series. It's all so good. So the car is like a super sweet scene because they're like both like, are you terrified? Because I'm terrified. And they're like
I love
holding
that.
hands and just being very cutie. And I love that they have this like little moment. And then it's like very much paralleled in like the next scene when they like, after Shane brings Ilya to the house, he carries his bag in, which is like so daddy. And it also like calls back to that tweet where it was like, Shane looks like he would carry Rose's bags and all of her like hopes and
Mhm.
dreams. Like I'm sure Ilya is thinking exactly about that tweet when Shane carries his bag into the house. But then when they settle onto the couch, it's like when they're making out on the couch and they stop and Shane's like, let's be honest with one another. Like the moment in the car and then the moment on the couch, they're both these like really good like parallels of like trust and like intimacy in a way that we haven't seen with them before. And I think that's like
Yeah.
one of the beautiful parts of this episode is we get like a very different Shane and Ilya almost in a way.
Yeah, Shane is
For sure.
supposedly at a silent retreat, and I was taking notes for this, and I was like, the thing we could never do, a silent retreat. Like,
That's so funny because my therapist literally told me a couple weeks ago. She was like, "Wait," I was like, "Man, I just talk so much, and I just have to say everything that comes to my mind. Like it's just such an impulse." And she was like, "You're a very verbal processor. Like you have to talk through things in order to understand them." And I was like, "You're so right. I do have to do that. I have to rehash everything all of the time." I was sick a couple weeks ago, and there was a time I didn't talk at all from like Thursday to Sunday just because I was home alone and just like texting people and not like on the phone. But I'm such a yapper, and if you let me talk, I will.
Yes, exactly. No, and that's why we have a podcast, truly.
Exactly.
with episodes that never go below the 2 hour mark. So, yeah.
And we're not sorry about it.
Nope.
No, literally. We're not
Just listen
sorry
in
at
chunks.
all.
It's fine.
Exactly. So they do this scene in like one shot, which I like literally like in one take. I don't understand how they like from
I
when they
adore
get out of
this.
the car to when they get like onto the show. I show you to the room. That's one take.
Okay,
Yes.
so this has a lot of technique involved. First of all, you need to make sure that the lights are right so you don't see the camera reflected on all the glass that you have, all
Yeah.
the windows. So that's one thing that you have to do. You have to block the scene. So you have to make sure everyone knows where to stand when. And they I know the all this because I was obsessed with the show Adolescent, and that show is all one-ers, so all one shots. Every episode is just one shot.
You can even hear the audio change, like from when they are outside to when they get in the house. Like
Uh-huh.
there's just a
Uh-huh.
slight change in the audio. Because
Mm-hmm.
it took me a couple rewatches before I was like, hold the fuck up. They did not cut this at all. So that means like they're remembering all of the lines, they remember where they're
Yeah.
going, just like the perspective shifts between them. It's really beautifully done.
So you have to like they approach this very much like usually when a series or a film is doing this, they approach it as theater would.
Mhm.
So you because you have to do it like there's no way to edit anything out. So you have to do multiple takes, and I think Adolescence is like the big example of oneers in the last year because of how long the non-cut scenes are, like the full episode. But it's about like blocking. Everyone knows where they go. Every single camera knows like how to move. We make sure that we don't get the reflection of the camera on the glass. We make sure nobody drops anything. You need to lock in. You cannot like miss a line and laugh because then everyone has to start all over again. And of course, they are using natural light here. So you need to like if you don't get the good take, eventually you need to stop and start all over again the following day. So this is like everyone is talking about it, but it's because it's quite impressive, and it helps build this beautiful like feeling of being introduced to this space. So it works really well. It's perfect, and they almost knocked out the lamp, and I'm so
Yeah.
glad that they could like keep
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
without having to start all over again.
Yeah. No,
With
no,
the
no. That
whoa,
was
whoa,
so good.
whoa.
Whoa. Like, no, and that just is like I like how real that is. Like, I like that they're like laughing, they're like knocking into shit, like that just like it feels very like this is real sex, you know, like this is a real intimate scene, like, and yeah, I love this scene, and then they go down onto the couch, and like I just they're like, oh my god.
A thing that I noticed this time, remember how Shane goes to Ilya's place and asks if he should take off his shoes? And he was
Yeah.
like no, you're fine. Now they get to the cottage, and before Ilya enters the cottage, he like cleans his shoes with the mat that is at the entrance, and then takes it off inside as soon as he enters. So it's like he's settling into this space in a very respectful way. And I love it. And I wanted to cry when I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like Shane asks, like I know it culturally is a thing, and like I know in both like Russian and in Asian culture it is like common for you to take off your shoes when you enter into somebody's house. I know that's a like cultural thing in a lot of people's cultures. I think Ilya is kind of like trying to be like, you know, a little aware of that. But yeah, like him like looking around when he's taking off his shoes and being like, wow, Mr. Real Estate, like Mr.
Yes.
Landlord. Like this is, and like, you know, like it just is, it goes to show that like Ilya like truly never expected to be here. Like
Hmm.
he thought like the all that he was ever gonna see of the cottage was that dumb documentary that Shane
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, but
Oh.
now he like actually gets to be there and see it in person. Like you even can see that when he's like following Shane up the stairs to go to the bedroom. He's like looking around at the like what's going on
Yeah.
around him. He's so cutie.
Which Shane also, he says, I can give you a tour. It's so Canadian.
I didn't pick up on that,
It's so
of course.
So Canadian.
like,
Oh
I
my
know it's a
god.
Canadian produced show. I know you don't have to tell me it's from Crave. I know it's from Crave. But when I just every time I hear tour and then later he says pasta instead of pasta, it takes me out so quick and just reminds me so quickly that it's Canadian that I was like, LOL tour.
Tour him like doing that like little role play where he's like, I'll be your bellboy. Like
Okay, can
stop.
we talk about that? Can we talk about that real
No,
quick?
no, no.
Because
Wait. Let's before we get to that,
Okay.
because I know we're gonna just lose our minds there. So hold your horses. Shane is not wearing any socks. We see that when he goes to the couch.
Well, like no shit, it's hot
And
as fuck out. Like he's wearing boat shoes. He's not gonna wear
I
socks.
know, I
I wear
know.
jackets later though. I'll talk
Ilya
about that
is
anyway.
wearing socks, and Shane had been consistently wearing socks during sex the first two
No, that's
episodes.
true.
So that's why I'm pointing that out. And also the cottage. Let me just pause for a second to say what a beautiful home.
It's so
I
beautiful.
love how this very private cottage that we have told Ilya is very private is
It's all glass.
surrounded by it's all glass. And I love it because I just keep thinking about like the closet is glass. But I love it because it really is like it's private but it's not hidden.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that again sets the tone for what we're getting. But also the design of the home, the design of this cottage, the lightness of the materials, the simplicity, because it is very elegant. I am sure everything costs a lot of money there, but everything is very simple. The shapes, the colors, the patterns is very fluid. The space, like you navigate it in a Warner, so you could not like film a Warner in a different type of like floor plan. It will be harder, and it's super bright. So again, like echoing the song, the vibes from the song at the car, like we're getting a very light version of this relationship, and a very simple and it's gonna be comfy, but at the same time, it's not gonna be like full of obstacles and layers. We're gonna see them very naked, very visible through the glass, you know? So I think even the architecture is sending us messages about what we're about to experience. And I love it. And it's also very aesthetically pleasing to me.
Yeah, you wrote in here, a private cottage full of windows is very symbolic, and I thought that was very cool as well.
Yeah. And now we can go and go nuts with the bellboy.
Yeah, our bellboy moment.
Can we talk about the Twitter trend right now? When this comes out, I don't know if it'll still be a trend, but there is a trend on Twitter right now where people are writing out it's like Shane colon so, and then it's like some like scenario. People have been going crazy. Some people are projecting their own fetishes, which is like, okay, you do you, but also it's glass. We can see right through it. You don't need to be doing all that. But like some people are writing like, okay, so we're in a hockey rivalry and you're from, and it's a whole thing. It's just different like role play situations that Shane would absolutely be putting them through. And in some of the tweets, like it continues with Ilya either like pushing back or like being like, bro, no. But some of them are like, Shane is so kinky and it's so funny, and I really hope that you are online seeing this.
Shane's autistic ass would never roleplay.
He's doing it right here.
Yeah,
No.
I think he would.
I think he's like joking around. I don't think he would ever like sexually roleplay.
I think he would. I think he definitely would, because
They'd start and then he'd give up.
himself. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was separating himself from the idea that he has of himself. It's helpful sometimes to just let go.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I can't picture him because, like, I mean, sure, I've role played before, but like,
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
This is my mom about my passion project.
We know that you two have a very, very trusty relationship, and you share all that stuff.
Listen, no, like, my mom is like a nurse, and so like when I was younger, I was just open with her about like a lot of the stuff that was happening to me, because like in case there was an issue where I was like, I think I might be getting an STD or you know,
good.
Something like that, and
that is super cool.
It's just something that's continued into my adulthood. So
I support it. No, I'm super happy for you.
I'm like trying to justify it. Anyways, back to Shane roleplaying. I just can't see Shane roleplaying. Like, I think Shane is already like so focused on being like Mr. Bottom Eyes, like that he like literally can't do anything else. Like, I think he is literally like, as soon as Ilya touches him, he's like 404. Like, we see this later when he's on the phone call with Hayden. Like, he is like 404 error. Like, he can't have the phone call with Hayden when Ilya is touching him.
But
so,
he
like,
probably role plays during foreplay. And then Ilya touches him and it goes through the window. Listeners, let us know what you think.
Let us know. Do you think Shane is into roleplay?
Lauren's mother, what do you think?
My mom's gonna be like, what the fuck? Why do you guys keep talking about me?
Because it's awesome. And I love
No, she will actually be like, no, I'm amazing, because she is. She'll be like, no, keep talking about me.
She sounds amazing. We forgot to mention it's been a long time and I haven't, and same. Yeah. And Shane's grin. Super happy about
I literally put in the notes, he's so colon D. He's like, really? He's so excited. Like, you think he's going to fucking Disney World, bro.
He's like, wait, you haven't fucked any bitches? You haven't fucked any bitches? I'm the only bitches?
He does the cutest thing. I have an idea, and he just laughs at himself because he's so embarrassed that he's gonna be so vulnerable,
open and vulnerable, and I love that we get to see this Shane. I love it. Like, it's such a departure from the Shane that we've seen. Like, this brings me back to like,
this is the Shane that foreplays with roleplay.
Shut the fuck up. This brings me back to the aquarium when Shane's like, damn, Hayden, you want to get me pregnant too? Like, like this secretly funny Shane, like, is really coming out of this.
Yeah.
Shane is so funny. He's so funny. No one gets him like I do because he's so funny.
Well, no one gets him like we do because we're all autistic and so is he. So. They proceed to then have sex in the bedroom.
The
After
shades?
Shane tries to close the shades, and Ilya's like, no, because we're done fucking in the dark, buddy. We're done. We're fucking in the sunshine now. We're not going back.
The nipple pinch.
Sunshine.
The nipple pinch. The
I-
hunger and the breathing.
Ilya is a equal opportunity lover. He is a titty man in both genders. That is his emotional
All
support
genders.
titty and his emotional support nipple. Do not take them from him. Something bad will happen to you.
And we know something is wrong with me because we're getting all this very horny and beautiful thing, and all I'm thinking is the glass. The hand on the glass.
Okay, we all know that Shane was immediately, as soon as they were done, Shane was like, let's take a shower, let's brush our teeth, and then I'm gonna get those handprints off of the glass. Like, he said,
the Windex was out as soon as they came. Yeah.
And then he was like, and now I'm gonna go make 8 burgers. And, okay, first of all, this is such an autism thing, because, like,
such a gay autism moment.
This is, like, I cannot have a recipe to save my life. Like, it does not work. I will always make more food than I need. Like, no, dude, it doesn't, I can't not make it exactly. I can't do it. But
friends,
also,
because of autism, I can't do it because I can't count. I can't do math.
Well, yeah, you have dyscalculia. I have ADHD. No, the other thing is, these are 2 professional hockey players. They would have totally eaten 8 burgers. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, they would have absolutely eaten 8 burgers. Like, wasn't Connor eating, like, 8 pounds of ground beef a day on set? Like,
a day, but yes, multiple pounds, yes.
Multiple pounds of ground beef a day on set. Like, these 2 motherfuckers would have eaten all of those burgers. Like, do not even try me.
Yes. We also get boring count number 8. This is our last boring count of the show, but it is number 8. They're talking about David and Yuna, but he was saying about how you get boring from them. Or they were talking about his looks. He says, I'm pretty sure says like you get the cute looks from your mom and then the boring from your dad or something again. Which David gets a lot of shots from Ilya. This is, I think, another time. I think it was in the bathroom scene where he'd called David boring again.
Well, I think it's totally, like, reasonable that Ilya does a lot of shots at David because, like, Ilya has only seen men in father positions in negative ways his whole life. Like, he's only experienced fatherhood in a negative way, which is why I think it'll
fascinated by David.
Yeah, I was just wondering if David was also autistic.
I mean, probably. Somebody's gotta be. But
it is genetic, you know?
Yeah. Wow, genetic. No, I was thinking that, like...
Do you like how my English has improved, Lauren?
Yeah. Are you reading The New Yorker?
Probably. No, but my father does.
No, exactly. Wow, The New Yorker. Genetic. No, I mean, Ilya doesn't understand, like, Shane's relationship with his parents, because, like, Shane is very close to them, and Ilya does not have, like, that modeled for him, you know? So it's, like, it's very weird for him to experience that, like, Shane is very close to his dad, and that he likes his dad, because he didn't have that himself, you know? So, like, he doesn't understand why Shane is, like, so obsessed with his dad, who seems really boring. Because
he doesn't
Ilya's
understand
not obsessed with his dad.
Watching heated rivalry with his mother.
Are you gonna keep calling me out for this whole episode? I'm gonna call my mom. I'm gonna call my mom and I'm gonna be like, Lau was so mean to me on the episode today that we watched Heated Rivalry together.
This is payback for every single time that you have made fun of my love for JJ.
I've never made fun of your love for JJ.
We literally did it last episode, bro.
I just listened to that.
I was just editing it.
I've never made fun of you for JJ. I'm being attacked right now.
It's okay. It all comes around because y'all attacked me about the other stuff. It's fine.
It's yeah, and your mom. Your mom in a different way.
I'm gonna talk about it again too.
I'm sure you will.
Okay, so we get Ilya asking about Shane's parents, and do they know about you? Of course not. know about you. And I
Dumbass.
love how for Shane, because I relate to this. I do. Hi, mom. Didn't like not being able to separate his coming out to his love for Ilya is
Yes.
so
Yeah.
relatable. Like Ilya says, like you don't need to give them a list of all the guys you're fucking, but people do ask, like, how did you find out? And if you found out because you fell in love like a fool with someone else,
Right.
how do you not talk about that? Like it is
Right.
sometimes your queer awakening is a high velocity train that just takes you by surprise and just kills you, and then it's very difficult not to link both that queer awakening with your coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, like Shane doesn't know how to separate the two. Like in his mind, because like Ilya's one of the only people he's like slept with, you know, or like the only person that he's like, as they mentioned later, like the only person he's been in love with. Like it's so intrinsically tied into
Mhm.
this, which I think is, you know, like one of the reasons why Shane has never come out to his parents, because he like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he can't separate the two, because he sees it as like they're intertwined with one another, and he can't separate them in his head.
Yep.
Yeah, they're so inextricably tied. Absolutely. Yeah, there is no separation for him. I also really appreciated the shot of Ilya's hand pulling off of Shane's lap as Shane gets up. He's like emotionally pulling away a little bit. It's a little sad because we know they are at the cottage supposed to be so emotional with each other and more open and
Open and
vulnerable.
yeah.
And for him, he's pulling away just because he doesn't want to talk about that with Ilya right now. And obviously he's going to be forced to later, but he's just right now he's still getting his own mind wrapped around his queerness and his feelings for Ilya, and so
Mm.
trying to get his parents for that is just too much for him in the moment. And then our
Yeah,
next
for
moment
sure.
is one of the best ones, the fire
Oh,
pit.
yeah.
Ah,
Shout out to that electricity bill.
okay, also like the doors being open in the cottage, like just
Okay,
letting
yeah.
bugs in all the fucking time. Jesus Christ.
They left the car windows down when they first got there, and I was like, "Girl, what the bugs? You're gonna get
The
something in
bugs.
there."
They would never survive the tropics.
Are there ticks in Canada? Because you got like ticks, mosquitoes. I'm sure there's probably like snakes or like small critters. Like,
Yeah.
what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Close the damn
These two
door.
men will never survive to the tropics.
Also, I headcanon that Ilya's like very afraid of spiders and like will not kill any like bugs in the house. Like
Yeah.
I headcanon that he's very afraid of like
I
small
love
insects.
this. I support that.
Thank
Also
you. Thank
related to like the summer stuff and all that, they wear I have a pet peeve. It's with this and with Percy Jackson. I know it's like a costuming thing, but they're wearing jackets in the summer. I don't get it. Why are they wearing jackets in
because
the
it's
summer?
cold at night, Amanda.
Yeah, it's cold.
That doesn't make any sense. What do you mean? It's the
No,
summer.
because like no, it's not.
Amanda.
Like when the sun goes down up north, it's cold. It's like in the 60s at night.
Yeah.
Why? That doesn't make any
Because
sense.
that's how the weather. I don't know. What the sun, warm. Moon, not warm. Dark, cold.
But to me, I'm like, it's summer. It's just hot all of the time. And like, in
No,
Percy
because you
Jackson, they're
live in
like
Florida. You've never experienced
Amanda.
another
Amanda.
climate.
Amanda, my friend, I'll take your hand when I say this.
I lived in New Zealand for 6 months.
You and I live in situations where weather is following different logics than
Yes.
what the north is like.
Yes.
And having been in Chicago during the summer, I can say yes, efectivamente, when you lose sunlight, it's cold as hell. So you need
yeah, like
jackets. Yeah.
like I would say like in June it'll be like light jacket weather, or I'll like
Mhm.
take a sweatshirt
Yeah.
with me when I go somewhere, because like by the time I get home, like I used to go, I'm in this like Suffolk collective, and we would have beach events, and like as soon as the sun sets it gets pretty cool, and then if you're
Yep.
trying to like make it home and you're in a swimsuit, you're gonna freeze. Like it's just cold.
I suppose this
Yep.
makes sense in places with no humidity because humidity holds the moisture, and so here it's still humid at night, and so
No,
it
no, no,
holds-
no,
still
no,
holds
No,
the-
no, it's
no, no,
humid
no, no,
here.
no.
It's humid
Yeah.
here. We got a fucking lake 10 blocks away from me. Like, it's still fucking humid as hell,
I guess
dude.
I just don't understand this, but I did. To be clear, I have not lived. There were the 6 months I lived in New Zealand. I want to shout that out. It was during their winter, but to me, I don't know. Just something doesn't compute about that because I'm like, why are you wearing jacket? And in Percy Jackson, they're wearing jackets during the day, and I'm like, you're supposed to be in New York. Like, I don't buy it.
No, it's cold up in the Catskills, and in the summertime. Like I always, when we go up and like vacation in Michigan in the summer, like I always bring a sweater with me because
There
I know
was
one night.
one time I was in North Dakota in June and it was really cold and I was wearing like 3 hoodies, but like I don't know. To me it's just so like if it's
Florida
supposed to be
brain.
summer.
I have like pictures of myself on the 4th of July in a sweatshirt and jeans.
What?
Same.
Like
no, 4th of July is for being like mostly naked. Like
okay. So Amanda can't differentiate between white men. And doesn't understand weather.
I understand weather. I just don't understand northern weather.
I think you will be very happy here in Colombia. You should come.
Yeah, I think you should just move to Chicago because it's so fun in the summertime. And that's why we do fire pits in the summertime, or bonfires, or whatever you want to call them, is because it's cold at night.
Yeah.
I fucking whatever. We have to move on, but it's the buffering.
Buffering. Amanda 404 does not compute.
So
error.
Anyway, but it gives them an excuse to cuddle if it's like a little breezy or whatever. They're like cuddling.
Well, I think they're also both wearing shorts. So also like men
Is that just northern behavior though? Don't they?
Oh my god, Amanda, I saw someone on campus in shorts today and it was 18 degrees outside.
Yeah, that one I understand. That's like an Ohio thing as well. Like people, it's a very. What part of the Midwest are you from? If you wear shorts
that
in
part
the snow?
you understand, but you don't understand light jackets during the summer nights.
I understand them
very
wearing
confused.
Shorts in the. I don't know, because people are dumb and wear shorts in the cold. It's the same way I see people in hoodies in the summer because the AC is blasting so much. You get cold in lecture halls, and so people across campus wearing hoodies. They don't take it off, but I get that.
Wow.
Lawrence
Okay, you're gonna come to Chicago in a temperate summertime when it's like 75 during the day, or like even gets into the 80s, but then it drops into like the low 70s at night, and that's chilly. Amanda, I've seen people in parkas, in full-length parkas, when it's been 68 in Florida. So you have really no fucking I have seen people in full-blown winter coats, like in 70-degree weather in Florida.
I mean, to be clear, the weather right now where I'm at, it says it's 60 degrees, but the wind chill is making it feel like 40. So sometimes it depends on where you're at. The baseball.
When Amanda comes to visit me in Chicago in the summertime, they're gonna be like, I'm cold as soon as it's below 80. And I'm gonna be like, well, guess what? Here's where your sweater. Yeah. Anyways, so they're hanging out at a bonfire in sweaters or long sleeve shirts. I also love this long sleeve shirt on Ilya too.
They both look so fine.
Yeah, they're both so hottie. Them sitting there talking about Rose. This is so funny to me. Ilya is so jealous of Rose. Like, that's hilarious.
And it's just the way that Shane feels about Svetlana too. Like, it goes both ways.
Yeah, no,
I love that. Ilya, I'm gay.
Ilya, I'm gay.
Not so gay that you couldn't fuck Rose Landry.
It was a disaster both times.
I'm not gonna go into details.
Disaster how?
Set that boundary.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then that's when we hear our famous wolf bird.
Yes. So now you speak bird. Another gay autism moment. I will say we almost named this podcast something similar about stupid Canadian wolf bird or something.
I will say I think there is another Heated Rivalry podcast that is something about like Loon Call or something.
Yep. It's called Loon Call. Yep.
Yes.
I saw it.
Cool.
I believe they just had Jacob Tierney on.
Hi, Loon Call, if you're listening.
Hi, Loon Call.
I don't know that they know us. I did not know them.
You should tag them.
Because I looked.
Next time
I looked for Heated Rivalry podcast before we started, and I didn't find them.
Yeah, no. They came out after us.
Oh. Then we transition to Deep Talk, and now Shane is the one soothing Ilya after all of these episodes of seeing Ilya soothe Shane. There's no eye contact, which I thought was really relevant.
And Ilya soothing himself, like, it's like Shane was observing and has learned that Ilya soothed himself in his ears and head. So as soon as we get into like very vulnerable and emotionally hard territory, you can see Shane's hands not being super invasive, but signaling like, this is okay, I am here.
Yeah. And I find that whenever they have deep conversations, they don't make eye contact, which is so real. Like, I struggle with eye contact already, but for like serious conversations, it is so hard. And I know that it's like head on lap moment, but it's so much easier to just stare into the fire and talk to each other than make eye contact.
Yeah.
I also hate that I understand that this is how it is in the book, but like I hate that the loon call interrupts like the story that Ilya is like telling about his mom. But I see the use for it because it like shows that there is still like communication issues between the two of them, and like the loon call like acts as like the physical embodiment of that. But I hate it being there. I hate it being there.
And also because it's a really heavy topic.
Yeah.
And sometimes I appreciate when we get like those moments, because we do get like that interrupted and all of that, but Shane is still very open, signaling to Ilya like, if you want to come back to the deep stuff, I'm here. Ilya says that she died, like Irina died. It was an accident. She accidentally swallowed a lot of pills. And I think the book is clearer about why he does this. This is because his father would say like it was an accident, it was an accident. But Ilya found her, so he knows. And I think this I mean, it's not surprising that Ilya's father sucks at this point, right?
Right.
But you can and you should be very honest to children about suicide against what we were told and what was believed when we were young. The idea of suicide is not contagious. Talking about suicide is not something that is going to cause more suicide to happen. It's actually what prevents it. So, asking direct questions about suicide can save someone's life. And if you have children in your family and you just experience the loss of someone you'll love because of suicide, it is very important that in a very children appropriate way you do explain it, because if not, it's gonna hurt. Like, they know that something else is going on, they can pick up on, maybe they cannot make sense of what is going on, but they can feel it and it will affect them. So it is important to actually talk to them. Of course, avoid graphic details, but do explain what suicide is in a very children appropriate way. Go to a professional if you don't know how to have the conversation, but do have the conversation. And you can see here like how resentful Ilya is for this. Like, and of course Ilya's father was not trying to protect Ilya, he was trying to protect the family reputation with this lie. But the lie is hurtful and is traumatizing. And so he makes this joke, and Shane is kind of like taken aback by it. He's like, "Oh, accident, pills.
Yeah.
Oh, suicide." And I love how even though he's like shocked, he remains calm and he focuses on soothing Ilya. That's growth. Because the Shane from episode 1 and 2 would not have known to do that. So we're growing. We're progressing.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember where I saw it. It was probably on Threads at some point. But like we talk about Irina a lot in this episode, Ilya's mother. And somebody pointed out that like Ilya has like a very like romanticized like version of Irina, and that like possibly what was actually happening was that Ilya was like caring for his mentally ill mother throughout his life, even as a child. And that like he maybe has like distanced himself in some way, shape, or form as a way to like protect his memory of his mother, but that like most likely that he, like unintentionally like suffered a lot of trauma throughout his childhood with having a mentally ill parent that didn't start and end with Irina's suicide. And so that's something I think a lot about. And like, especially as we think about like Ilya's own mental health struggles that we encounter in the long game, and how like in romance novels, like something we talk about when we talk about like disability studies is that like a disability in the romance novels is seen as like a interrupter of the happily ever after. There's a great work by, I believe their last name is Cheyenne, but I've quoted it before in my work, or I've cited it before, and it's just that like people in romance novels who are disabled often think that they are not like deserving of like love because of their disability. And this is something that we run into a lot with Ilya in the long game, is that he doesn't think like he is worth like Shane's love and adoration because he's mentally ill, and that's maybe why he takes so long to talk about his mental illness with Shane. But that like ultimately in romance novels, the way disability is like solved in some shape or form so that like there is no like stop to the happily ever after, that like disabled characters don't get to be disabled and have a happily ever after and have romance. And so I think like Irina's story kind of shows some side to that, like of being mentally ill and not getting to have like a happily ever after, whereas Ilya is kind of in the exact difference to that. So I think that's a like an interesting side to it as well. But I also think about like when I taught like middle school for like 6 months as a student teacher, and I had like, you know, 12, 13, 11, 12, 13-year olds. I had middle schoolers, and a lot of my students were refugee students. And like I would be able to tell like the students that were like I would get a group of 7th graders, and I would be like, half of these students are like way more emotionally immature. They are definitely even almost like on the level of like high schoolers. They have like just more understanding of the world around them and like etc. Whereas then I would have a group of like very sheltered like younger children who just like were like needing to have people get them on the bus and like take them to lunch and things like that. And so like it makes me think about how Ilya as a child probably knew that his mom committed suicide, but that language is like specifically what his father told him to say. Like
Yeah.
because of like, I mean, this is what we talked about before with like high context versus low context, like damaging the face, like Irina showing that things were not perfect in this family, like made Ilya's father resent her and made the way that he talked about her death to Ilya like a really negative way, which also then might have given Ilya like the like recourse to be like, oh no, this was like my mother was actually a really good person, you know, she didn't suck, when that might not be the truth.
Yeah, mental health issues with parents is very hard on children, especially when it's not managed with transparency and good support. And one of the kids ends up being the caretaker. That really sucks. And that this is a great segue into something I've I realized with the next scene when they're like waking up and Elias like has his mouth open and breathing through his mouth, and the first thing he says as he wakes up is "I like you." And I think many times during this series, the door to Ilya's emotions and vulnerabilities is being heard when talking about Irina. And that makes a lot of sense because his whole emotional trauma stems from that loss and from that inability to talk about her, because I am sure he was never allowed to talk about her after she died, right? So every single time that he is able to talk about her and be heard and not be invalidated, it's a moment where he feels safer and safer, and the wound is able to heal a bit. So that is why almost like seconds later or the morning after, he gives Shane some vulnerability after, because he feels safe because of that. And I really like that because it is very real on how people who have put walls between them and the world emotionally because of a traumatic event in their childhood, how that traumatic event becomes the gatekeeper of their emotions in a sense. And until you are able to feel safe to talk about the dark stuff, you won't be able to talk about anything else that is related to your real emotional situation. So I love it because it does do justice to people like Ilya and to the complexities of his mental health and what we are hopefully seeing next season.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I love that my cat Bones just climbed into my lap when we were talking about this because he was like, you need emotional support right now.
Oh.
I noticed that too. As soon as you were talking about it, I was like, aw, hi, Bonnie.
Even though literally I opened the door and he tried to escape today.
He'd come back.
The duality of cat.
Would he? I don't think
I think he would. You have like regular food and love and cuddles and stuff. I think he would.
Would you come back?
The duality of cat.
The duality of cat. He's really trying to beg to go on the back porch is really what he's trying to do.
It's still cold, Bonnie. No.
We go out there every night after dinner. We go take a little walk on the porch.
Well, I think that mental health and illness is very important in both sides of Hollanov, because I think that, yes, his mental illness is definitely more prominent in the relationship, but I think that Shane struggles as well with, like, especially like at the long game, with like that eating disorder that is definitely like a mental health thing, but in somewhat it doesn't interfere with their relationship, but it is at points like a more point of contention for them, I would say.
Yeah,
and
I
Shane
would argue that it does, but I can save that for me.
True. Yeah, we'll talk about it more in the long game, but I wanted to bring it up as well. And it's not as prevalent here, but Ilya really loves Shane's idiosyncrasies that come, or like he appreciates them and holds space for Shane's idiosyncrasies in a way that relating more to his like autism in a way, which autism is not like a mental illness. It has related mental illnesses, but like that's why we get things like Hollander, you were having a panic attack, like that kind of thing, where he is able to help Shane kind of come down from that and from when he is in those like very like big emotional states. But I think that Shane's mental illness will become something for them as well, in the way that Ilya's mental illness is. It's just something they both have to work on together and separately, and it helps them to be stronger in their relationship.
Yeah, be stronger together.
Yeah, those are my thoughts. So then we get a few boys being boys moments in this episode, but one of them
cover the fucking game.
I love that they're swapping places. I just love it.
Yes, I love that.
Such, like, a beautiful detail. And Connor's story, Ilya is so hot in this scene, and I love his silly gestures. Like, I'm on the cover of the fucking game, and the whole hand, like,
that's so gay.
Oof,
it's so gay.
It just kills me. It just kills me. I'm feral for this scene.
Yeah,
just because of the silly tank top and his silly mannerisms, and the fact that I have a photo of Kuri mimicking Ilya.
Yeah, I need all of y'all to run to the Instagram or our socials right now and look at this Kuri picture. That is it is the embodiment. It is perfect. It is like, the corporate needs you to find the difference between these two images, and there is no difference. It is that. Please go look.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so good. Yeah, I love their like little banter here. I love that Montreal Metro's sweater. I just think it's really cute, and I'm so upsetty that I can't physically get it because I hate Montreal.
Lauren, I have a question for you, because Amanda was a baby, but do you remember the whole metrosexual trend?
I was there for that.
Yeah,
you were there for that. Okay, because every time I hear the Montreal Metros, that is what comes to mind.
And you know what? It's honestly like I would not put it past Jacob Tierney to have done that on purpose.
Because Ilya says something like, I always wonder what it would be like to be a metro, and my millennial brain was like,
metrosexual.
What?
What do you mean you want to be gay?
Excuse me, sir.
Also, the Montreal Canadiens are not the best team in sport. I will say it is the Yankees at this point in time.
Really?
The Montreal Metros have won. The Montreal Metros. The Canadiens have won. They've won the most Stanley Cups. 24.
Okay. Wow.
They won it in 1916, 1924, 1930, 31, 44, 46, 53, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60.
What?
65, 66, 68, 69, 71, 73, 76, 77, 78, 79, 86, and 93.
Damn. And so they haven't won in a hot minute. So they had that like regular streak of getting it multiple times in a decade, and they still haven't won since the 90s?
Yes, I will say that when they were winning in like the 1920s, there was only 6 teams. So that was the first thing. They're called the original 6. It's Boston, Chicago, Toronto, Montreal, Detroit, and New York. Those are the original 6 teams. So their early times, there were only 6. Then there was an NHL expansion in, I don't remember when the first NHL expansion was. There were 6 franchises added in 1967s. And in the Montreal Canadiens have been largely against all of the NHL expansions. Because they don't want to divide up like the market in Canada. And so currently there are only 7 Canadian teams and 25 US teams. The most recent expansions gave us the Las Vegas Golden Knights in 2017. Boo. The Seattle Kraken in 2021. I don't have anything to say about that. And then the Utah Mammoth in 2024. They are originally the Arizona Coyotes, but the franchise folded, deactivated, and then they moved it to Utah. There are also 6 additional cities that have expressed interest in expansion, which include Atlanta, Austin, Houston, Indianapolis, and New Orleans.
Interesting.
But yeah, now, so the Canadians have had 24 and the Yankees have had 27 World Series championships. The Yankees are the best in sport, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
I have been getting into hockey lately, especially with the Olympics. I want to keep up with the rest of the season. I don't know where to watch or who to watch, but it helps that one of my colleagues at work is really into the Maple Leafs, and so I can ask him like dumb questions and then show him memes, and we get to talk about it.
I love that.
I tried.
Watch the PWHL. All of their games are streamed on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because after what happened with the U.S. men's Olympic team this weekend,
we don't talk about it.
We're not gonna, associate ourselves with any men's hockey teams anymore.
No.
It is only women's hockey from here on out. I personally, for women's hockey, I like the Minnesota Frost just because they're closest to me. The women's hockey players that we hate are Britta Curl because she's a TERF and a MAGA. And supposedly Abby Murphy is not great either, but we love Hillary Knight. We love Layla Edwards. We love Sarah Nurse. There are so many great female athletes. We love lesbian hockey here. So, absolutely. The other thing that you always can do is you can get a Flow hockey membership, which is like the AHL games, the ECHL games, college hockey is usually on there, and like other minor league. I think you can watch like Canada Junior Leagues on there as well. So that's like if you want to watch outside of the NHL. But I would highly suggest the PWHL. And I think I'm gonna go to the PWHL expansion. Like they're like doing a game in Chicago soon, so I'm excited because I think I'm gonna go with a bunch of gay people, which would be so fun.
Where were we?
Okay, we're talking about
they're playing
the video game and Hayden
the
calls.
equivalent of like what my brother used to play, FIFA Manager. But
yeah,
well, the NHL hockey game is a real game.
Oh,
I know.
It's made by EA.
I just come from a football culture, so that's what boys are into here. And my brothers will play like obsessively.
Yeah, so
FIFA
actually
Manager.
last year, Jack Hughes, the guy who scored the gold winning...
Oh, with the teeth, dating Addison Rae.
Yes. He was on the cover of NHL 2025. This year, Matthew Tkachuk's on it, which gross.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, but other famous covers, I know Patrick Kane was on it one year. Cale Makar was on it one year. Austin Matthews, I believe, was on it one year.
Yeah. Is Sid Cross on there?
Sidney Crosby has been on it, yes. I believe all the Hughes brothers were on it, actually, in 2025.
I just found out they have a sister in the PWHL. I did not know there was 4 of them.
Yes, there's 4 of them, actually.
That's wild.
And now in the NHL video games, you can play with, like, the PWHL teams.
So I'm getting that for my Switch.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun. I've played it before. The soundtracks are usually really good. And yeah, it's basically the same thing as FIFA. You can be like a manager or you can be like a player. I've played it before, but like NHL hockey players do play it. Like a lot of the like younger guys especially are like obsessed with it, and we call it Chell, CHEL. Like they'll have like Chell championships and tournaments and stuff between the teams.
Very
so it's
fun.
Definitely something that people do. And even as NHL players.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Well, the game here turns into another game, a sexual game.
Well, my favorite.
Which I've heard of people doing that before, but that's crazy. I would not. I would be too embarrassed. I don't think I could do it.
I
don't know.
Kind of like the thrill of it.
Yeah, I guess there's like a thrill aspect to it, but I don't know. I'm just like a little concerned about like the it feels like I don't know. Like I know Shane consents to it, but it just feels a little icky to me. Like it just feels a little like non-consensual. Like yes, Hayden doesn't know what's going on the other end of the phone, but like I don't know. It feels like I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on it? I would love to hear your thoughts.
I mean, I've known about this happening both consensually and not, but I mean, to
Mm.
the person that is on the other side of the line. But it's usually like teenagers with that have to like talk to their parents, and the other person is like taunting them to see if they
Yeah.
break, you know? I think it's as long as you're not making the other person at the other side of the line aware that you're
Yeah.
doing that, and like, or you don't tell them in a few weeks, like, by the way, this was going on while I was,
Right.
it will feel icky if you did that, but if the other person never knows, and it's not about
Yeah.
who the person is, just the fact that you're talking on the phone with someone, it makes sense. If it's about like who the person is specifically, it does feel a bit icky. But also, based on the dynamic that Hayden and Shane have, like Hayden had says stuff like, I'm gonna jack off in the bed in the hotel as soon as you leave. So
Yeah.
to me, in this specific case, it doesn't feel icky. I do think that people could make it very uncomfortable and very icky super fast. But in this case, I'm not against it. I think it's a very fun way to play around with your partner.
Okay.
As long as you don't make the third person, I mean, unless the
Like,
third person is willingly
unless, yeah,
participating
like,
in the.
you don't tell the third person. But okay, first of all, how does Hayden not know that it's fucking happening? Because it's loud.
I've
Like,
been thinking about that so much,
he's
and I
like
think it's the
slapping
baby
him, like putting
exhaustion.
fingers in his mouth.
Okay,
Like,
so what I did this time is that I went very slowly with the scene, and I did notice that when he is the most loud, he is muted,
yeah,
and
that's
the
true.
rest of the time it does sound like he is running to the door or something
Yeah.
and really distracted, but it's not very sexual. So it does make sense if he says like, "Oh, there's just this Amazon thing," you know? Like it does sound like he's running to the door.
I was like, oh, your speaker is on the bottom of your phone. Like, there is no way that Hayden doesn't hear the Gluck Gluck 3000 that is going on, like the Hawk Tua. Like,
Dear
there
God.
is no way that he doesn't hear that.
I
Like,
think I think that is what is confusing about the scene, is that it wouldn't sound that loud,
yes, but
but
we, like,
because the
as
sound engineering of the scene is
is
giving
loud.
us very loud head, it does sound like that is the confusing part. But having done that to people,
I know what you
having blown people up in the past, I know you can make it so it doesn't sound like the loop 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 loop. So
like the what?
Great onomatopoeia.
it's just, it's just like, I think the Foley person went a bit too far this time. Like it sounds exactly like when my cat is drinking water and I can hear him from the other
No, I think
side
it
of
sounds
the
like when my
apartment.
cat is throwing up in the other room. Like,
See,
that's
see, 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 see,
The cat
see, see.
comparisons are frying me. Like it is definitely a shout out the Foley work moment here, I would say. And I also think that Hayden just has a newborn. He has like 2 weeks no sleep, taking care of every
Yeah,
bit of
also.
Jackie's needs. Like I don't think he can hear it that much, or if he does, he does not have the brain cells. To start with, I don't even think Hayden has the brain cells, because I've been reading so many fics lately where Hayden is such a fucking idiot, and I think it's a little bit canon that Hayden is just a little stupid. Because I mean, like that's how that happens in the long game, is because Hayden's a fucking idiot. So I think that he's a little too stupid to realize what it is. He also can't hear it. He's exhausted. And also, I don't know how much he would care, because they are kind of like a bit like, he's more open about sharing about their sexual lives. Like he would be like, dude, like you don't have to tell me details, but he is a bit more open-minded than whatever else. You know what I mean? I think if later
Yeah,
he
he
right.
told
would be
him that, like, I was
disgusted. He would be disgusted about the Ilya Rosanov of it all, but
exactly.
not about Shane getting head while he's talking
Exactly.
to.
If Shane told him later, I feel like Hayden would be like, I feel like if he said, "Oh, I was getting head during that phone call," he'd be like, "My man," and then he said, "Oh, it was Ilya," he'd be like, "Dude, what the hell? Well, I was on the phone with Ilya." Like, I think that's
Gross.
how that would go.
Yeah, yeah.
But listeners, let us know what you think.
Anyway, Ilya is a menace. Ilya is a menace. And his eyes and his hands and his gestures, he's a comedic king. And I love it. And I love how he's like, I'll make you a deal. And Shane is like, no, no, no. While
Mhm.
he's positioning himself
Yeah.
I love this too.
Well, and that's like
My
when
two
Shane was
clowns.
saying that we can't meet up, and as
Uh-huh.
he's already out the door, like it's the
Uh-huh.
like you're not
Yeah.
fooling anyone. And then we get
No.
the that's not what this is, where Ilya's like, you like to be bad, and Shane's like,
Oh.
that's not what this is. Like, we're not bad anymore. Like, it's been years. Like, maybe we were, risky at first, but we're not bad anymore. And Ilya says, so you love Hayden, which is a precursor to what we get later.
Right, exactly.
So, speaking of Ilya being a menace, we get another part two, boys being boys. They are playing soccer outside. That looked really fun. I've been itching to
They're
be
playing
active
what?
outside. Sorry, football.
Thank you.
Football. Sorry, they're playing football outside. And Ilya just casually throws out there, just would love to not have a Russian passport. Like, I am thinking of,
Hmm.
trading to Canada, thinking of getting out of the US, which, like, honestly, fair. 2017. I don't blame you. Especially the US are always so tense with Russia, but it's very chaotic at that point, and so he wants to maybe be in Canada, also maybe be closer to his man's not man's. Because I don't know how much Shane's picking up on that Ilya's trying to do this to be closer to Shane. I mean, because we know how much Shane just sometimes just doesn't pick up on that sometimes, but this is to me very obviously Ilya being like, I want to be closer to you. I want us to do this. I'm gonna trade to be closer to you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's very much like, because I'm just thinking about like he doesn't really probably want to have like even an American passport because like America's so hostile to Russia at this time too. So like, well, I don't know. This is into the Trump administration. I still don't understand the whole Trump and Russia thing. Like I don't get it. Do we like them? Do we not like them? Do we like them? Do we not like them? It's who knows.
But
But
still, there's history.
there's
That's
history,
like,
yeah. And
yeah.
so I can see him very much being like, I want a Canadian passport, and also like Canada is a little more progressive, it's like had gay marriage longer, like, and it's where Shane's from. Like, come on, he of
Yeah.
course wants to be a little bit closer.
And it's easier to like ask for citizenship if he is a hockey player there. I think the
Right.
process in the US will be harder.
Yeah, I mean the immigration process in the United States
Mm.
is literally impossible, but
Yep.
when he says that he's like a free agent, so basically what this means in like hockey terms is that when you sign a contract in the NHL, you usually sign for something called like AAV, which is like how much money you get per year, right? So I've talked about this before on the pod, like Kirill Kaprizov in Minnesota. He's got the highest AAV starting this coming year in the league, and it's going to be 18 million for 8 years. So typically when NHL players they sign their first contract, it's this is how like contracts probably would have gone between Shane and Ilya. They would have signed a 3-year entry level contract or an ELC, which would have been like probably $800,000 a year plus any sponsorships or whatever that they got outside beyond that. Then after that, they probably would have gone, and so that would put them at like 21. They probably would have signed like the max amount of time that they could at Montreal and at Boston. So this is typically 8 years, and they probably would have got at that time like 10 or 12 million dollars because that's how much like those top players were being paid in that time. So that puts them like into the beginning of their prime, because NHL players are probably at their prime like 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And then it kind of goes downhill after that. So if they signed this contract at 21, they would probably be done at like 29. So that puts Ilya and Shane both being done with their first contracts and becoming free agents, meaning like there's nothing like holding them to this like space unless Boston gives them a really good deal. They can kind of go wherever they want as long as there is cap space for them every year at a different location. So Shane later on suggests Ottawa because Ottawa needs a star center and has the cap space in order for Ilya to be a part of that. It's also then in Canada and closer to Shane than Montreal is. So that's what Ilya means when he's a free agent. It means he no longer has a contract with the Boston Bears. Like, it has officially ended. Because sometimes people will be traded and then they're called restricted agents. Like, they can't go certain spaces and they have to finish out their contract somewhere. Did I say Boston? What did I say? Boston Raiders? Boston Bruins?
You said Bears.
Boston Bears. Oh.
That's okay. We're moving to the couch. We're having some parallel play. which we love. Everyone is
Yeah.
scrolling in their phones. They have blankets and footy. Amanda, count.
Yeah, I really love this moment. I don't know if I was counting the exact number of times that they've done that, but for them, this is such nonverbal communication, just casual touching, even when
Mm,
mentally on their phones in their own world. Like, just the casual, like, I'm just here, little tippy taps of just, like, just needing to be touching all of the time. I love doing that with my
yeah.
close friends. I love it's so reassuring. It's so nice. And so for them, it's always their freaking feet when they're at that conference, later at the parents' house, always at the whatever they're doing, they're always just like low key touching either in public or in private. And I thought that was a really sweet moment. And so we are hashtag noticing that and tracking.
Yes.
And I could marry Svetlana.
Literally,
Bombastic. Side
I
eye.
love this because
Murder eyes.
in my head, I always think of like the look that Shane gives him is so like, I want to murder you. Shane's like, yeah, and I could lock you in a closet with a loon. Like,
I love the
you
trend.
should marry
I love the
Svetlana.
social media trend. I love the social media trend where people will just like, I could marry Svetlana and I could toss
And
you
I
to
could
the
lock you in a
loons.
closet with a loon.
And I
Yeah. Those memes have been so funny. He's so teary-eyed though. Like immediately
Oh,
panic
mi
attack
bebé.
comes out. Like immediately he is just like spiraling and like thinking the worst, all of this. He's so baby boy. Like that is, oh my god, my little baby. And then we get the I have this problem. And Shane like wants to fix it. He goes like he's not as teary-eyed, but he like wants to fix his problem. He's so cold about it. He's like, what's the problem? He's so like harsh
Yeah.
about it at first until he realizes. And I love them. And he says, don't marry Svetlana. Just don't. Like, might as well propose then and there, boy. Like, don't marry Svetlana, then marry who, huh? Marry me? What about that, then? You ever consider that?
What about marrying me, huh? We'll be gay together forever?
To be gay.
With 2
Please.
kids? And a dog? And maybe a cat?
Maybe.
We're all doing the finger point. The, please?
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 Gay?
Okay,
Okay.
so this throws Shane into a spiral. And here I want to shout out to my husband, who is Shane in this scene, in the bed, middle of the night, sitting up, thinking, solving, formulating a 10-year plan for our future. And I am Ilya, being woken up, not understanding what's going on.
Why is
I
he
love
just
you,
sitting up
you're-
in the dark?
Listen,
No, that's so
relatable.
me.
He's
so me.
spiraling. But I just feel seen by this scene because this is my marriage. It's basically this.
Wait, is your husband an Earth sign? When's your husband's birthday?
He's a Gemini.
He's a Gemini. Okay, damn, because Haley and I, my best friend Haley and I, were talking about this, and we were like, this is so Earth sign coded, because I'm a Capricorn and she's a Virgo, and she's like, I've done this, and I was like, I do this all of the time, just like sitting up and plotting. Like, I'll even like get out in a notebook to write things down in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So no, what my husband has is called anxiety. So
Same,
but
also true.
Juan, I love you. You're the love of my life. And thank you for planning our lives for 10 years every single night. Just forgive me for not catching up as soon as you wake me up.
That's funny. Do you really think that far ahead? Yeah, bro, that's how anxiety works. I have the next like 80 years I'm constantly agonizing over. Like, for real, for real, for real.
I am like constantly thinking about potential things that could happen to me in 10 years.
It's so bad. Like, it's me for real. Like, just, yeah. And Shane's hands are soothing Ilya again. And I really like that they're, again, comforting each other like that and touching.
I
It's
love
sweet.
Hollander. I just woke up. What is narrative?
He's like, the English is not there.
The English is
No.
not working right now.
As soon as I wake up, I'm so nonverbal. Like, I need time to like wake up and get my vocal cords ready, and I just don't like. I would much rather
Mhm.
use ASL as soon as I wake up, and I have done that to my friends that know before, where I will use a good morning or an I love you when I first wake up because I just don't like talking. I'm so like I'm there. I'm just not talking in the morning.
Same. It takes time for me to. I always tell my husband when he wakes me up, let me land. I was somewhere
Mm.
else. I'm landing.
That's a good one. That was me this morning when I woke up and I had like a bunch of weird dreams and I was like confused and I was like, what day is it? Where am I? What is today? That's me. I'm trying to land. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck day it is.
But this whole plotting breaks Ilya. Like, this was the last wall. And Ilya starts crying. Shane is soothing him. And Ilya just breaks and starts kissing him and saying I love you in Russian until the I love you in English comes out. He is broken. He's terrified. He's like, this just came out because I cannot keep
Yeah.
it to myself anymore. And the holy shit.
Just take me out back and shoot me. Honestly, between the so much it scares me and the does it fucking kill you too, and Shane saying it. Also, Ilya saying the words in Russian, and Shane just has this small smile on his face, just listening to him, hearing him in the Russian. He's got that stupid smile on his face. The I love you and the I mean, no, because he goes, what? I love you. And then Shane goes, holy shit. And then Ilya says, I mean, ready to explain it. And then Shane says it back, just fucking shoot me, bro. Just fucking, I can't. Does it fucking kill
And
you
then
too?
Ilya he just melts. He just melts into him.
He
and
melts.
Shane is
I'm
like,
melting.
oh my god, I love you so much. So fucking much.
Is it agony for you?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I wish they had kept it. Is it agony? But I do love the does it kill you too.
Oh,
Same.
it kills me, bro. It kills me.
It kills me, bro. Also, Ilya's ass when he's laying on top of Shane kills me.
No.
I'm sorry. I had to be that person, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Of course you do. That's what
Of
this
course.
podcast is about. As we've always said, it's about the boy butts, the ass. Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The next shot apparently was controversial. I think that they get up at this point. They don't go back to bed because they're too excited. They've just confessed their love. I think they just get up and they're going to have coffee and a cigarette and blanket and cuddles by the water watching the sunrise. And again, this is a callback to like the sunset at All Stars. We've had these talks before. This is the sunrise on the new chapter. You know, we sunset on the old one. This is the sunrise on the new one. And they're about to start this new journey together. They're about to, figure out what Ilya's transfer could mean for them and figure out what their future looks like. And I think it's really sweet and it's very soft. And I really love this moment. This is really sweet to me. Like they could have ended it here. For me, like the episode low-key ends here.
Also, I mean, yeah, like I understand like the need for the rest of the episode, but like you could have ended it here.
I know.
Also, the coffee and
the next scene.
No, wait, before we go. The coffee and the cigarette is it's so me coded, honestly. Like I love a coffee and cigarette after a great you know what. Cigarettes After Sex, the band, they knew what was going on. They knew what was up when they named their band that.
I was just saying the next scene because the episode cannot end here because we have the most beautiful sex scene after this.
I also headcanon this is the first time that they don't use a condom.
Oh yeah, I was
agree.
about to mention that. Like that's a common headcanon and I fully agree. And because this is so tender and very raw, there is no performance here. Like all masks are off and Connor is acting his ass out. Like he's flushed. He has the face every single man I know makes when they're horny and they're just like no brain activity, all blood has gone to penis. And that's very good acting. And the whole how did we let this happen, and suddenly Shane gets scared. He's like, but this is real, right? And then we have the Shane putting his thumb into Ilya's mouth while he's fucking him. Please fuck me. And it's so like it's like they want to melt
Destroy
into each
me.
other. They're so tangled.
Yeah.
Like it's a human knot.
Yeah.
That's what I see. And yeah, I approve the headcanon because it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
I really appreciate the how did we let this happen. It's very like, how did I get here? What dominoes fell in my life that led to this? Like, I follow this train of thought so often of like, in my career, especially with my relationships, like, how did I get to, like, Lauren and I, like, our relationship, all the stuff we've been through. Like, I think about that a lot of, like, not a how did we let this happen kind of a way, but like what kind of pieces in my life fell into place that allows me to have these really fulfilling moments and stuff. And so Shane is reflecting on this in a very physical but also I feel like emotional way of the like, oh my god, we just confessed our love for each other, whereas when maybe Ilya a few times ago or a few years ago got too emotional and we had the Shane and the I'm leaving, I can't stay, like that whole moment. And this is also, for me, this reminded me a lot of the Ilya's Instagram in the long game, which I won't spoil, but to me that's it's very that. And if you know, like if that makes sense to you. But to me, that was just the how did I get here and the dominoes and like all of the puzzle pieces. For me, it is very much giving Ilya's Instagram, because we are just made up of like collections and pieces of other people in our lives, you know. And so I took a very big moment of that. I also appreciated the thumb in the mouth. I will say shout out to that. But I also I liked the deeper aspect.
Yes, no, I mean, this scene for me is everything. Like, I love it. It's perfect. And then you get the kind of like the moment afterwards where they're like in the afterglow and Shane starts talking about the Arena Foundation and like how he wants to make the summer camp about like helping kids learn hockey, but then donating all the money to like mental health organizations, which we stand an ally. Once again, we love an ally and we love a supportive partner. And Ilya gives my favorite line in the whole show, which is she would have loved you like I love you.
Yeah, real.
Which ow.
Crying. Just take my
I'm
heart
gonna
out.
go die now. Actually, like Jacob Tierney, you ripped me apart. Like I was put together, and now I've been ripped apart again. Please.
Yeah,
That
one is heartbreaking.
That one is heartbreaking. And then when Shane asks Ilya to say it in Russian again, to say I love you in Russian, and then like gets him to say it slower.
I wish we got Shane trying to say it, because that happens in the book in Heated Rivalry of Shane trying to repeat it back to him, of him trying to figure out how to say it in Russian. And I wish we got that.
Yeah, I mean Hudson probably never met up with the Russian dialect coach, so I mean I guess we could have butchered the language, but I don't know. I kind of love just Ilya saying it. But we know that Shane in the long game does eventually learn Russian.
It's true.
Moi Pomodor.
Blue. That's all I remember is you blue.
Yeah, Tabia. You.
Yeah.
I kind of hate the people who are getting like that tattooed on them, not in Cyrillic, like not in the like actual Russian script, but they're getting like the like,
ew. You have to get it in Cyrillic. That's the whole point.
Yeah, like I know, like the Latinized spelling of it. Like I love the Latinized spelling of it for fanfiction. Do it. Totally fine. Whatever Latinized, I don't know what we're calling that. But like if you're gonna get that tattooed on your body, get it in Cyrillic. And also, like, why are you getting a language tattooed on your body that you don't speak?
I mean, a lot of people do that with a lot of languages, and I agree.
I'm just confused. I'm just a little, like, technically, quote unquote, I have the Japanese kanji for south behind my ear, but that's because of Teen Wolf.
I do remember this.
And not because I actually speak Japanese or I want anything to do with Japanese. It's because of Teen Wolf. So, because I love that show and I thought that was a really cool tattoo to get. So,
true.
Anyways.
So then we're in the water playing mermaids. I would like you to know that this section of our notes is called mermaids. And it's so true. It's so real. I'm playing in the water. I think about that so much when I'm in the lab, just like washing bottles or something. I'm playing in the water. And we get to gimme kiss.
Gimme kiss.
I pointed out that in our notes that we never see Shane swimming at the hotel.
No, bro, the water's probably cold as fuck.
Yeah, but we do see Ilya there, right?
Well, he's from Russia.
Hello.
From Russia. Because in the book he does swim.
I'm wondering if it's because of Hudson's tattoos or something.
I was just answering to that because Connor also has tattoos, and I have been down the rabbit hole about this before.
Yeah, the tattoos you can see in the show.
No. The makeup they use to cover the tattoos is waterproof.
Oh.
So it's not about that. But I was wondering if it was something to highlight again the autism part. I, as a neurodivergent person, took a long time to get used to the sea. Not because of the water at the sea, but because of the after. Like getting sand all over my body and then feeling sticky. It was hard to the point where I perfected the technique of how to wash my feet so I could put my feet into shoes without getting sand into it. So I was wondering if maybe it has something to do with that. To see Ilya more comfortable swimming in this water. And lakes tend to be like, yes, very cold, but also sometimes slimy. So it
Yeah.
might have something to do with that. A lot of neurodivergent people don't like to go. A lot of us love to swim, but a
Yeah.
lot of people struggle with the after because it's the sensory overload of it is hard and it can take a lot of effort to deal with it. So a lot of people avoid it. So I
Yeah.
was thinking maybe it has something to do with that.
Yeah, they are wearing like water shoes, probably because like the bottom is gross. I just looked up because they're on Lake Muskoka in Canada, and the water temperature is at the warmest in August, but it's low to mid 70s.
Mm,
So like even Lake Michigan's warmer than that in August. Like Michigan gets in the upper 70s at least, but it's
yeah.
probably pretty cold. I don't like swimming in stuff that I can't see the bottom. So like that's kind of my thing. Like I
That's
want to be
fair.
able to at least see the bottom or not go very deep. So maybe that's like Shane's thing too. I also don't know really what the lakes are
Maybe.
like in Canada cuz like the lake that I have experience with is like Lake Michigan, and like I don't know if there's like plants or like moss or like any stuff on the bottom. Like where I go in Lake Michigan, it's like sand, and like sometimes seaweed,
Sure.
but like
Yeah,
not.
judging by the shoes is probably very slimy.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I don't love
Or
that.
rocky. Or
yeah,
rocky.
or rocky, one of
Also.
the two.
Yeah, when I was in the springs in Florida, I didn't love some of the bottom parts because it would get a little gross. But sometimes we ball. But also sometimes people wear water shoes for like wildlife protection and for safety
Mhm.
Yeah,
that way, which can be really important. So it might be related to that as well. But likely the rock stuff, water shoes to help
yeah,
with that.
I grew up in the tropics and I just respect bodies of water and
Yeah.
whoever lives in it because we have
yeah.
creatures.
It is, according to Google, Lake Muskoka is very rocky. It's got a lot of granite and GNEISS shorelines of the Canadian Shield. It's deep, clear water. And Muskoka is believed to derive from indigenous terms meaning the place where the large rocks are red. And they said there's a lot of submerged rocks requiring caution.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't want to like
So that's
slip in
why there
and
isn't shoes.
hit
Mm.
Yeah, or
yourself.
like cut your
Yeah.
foot, especially
Yeah.
when their feet are so important to their job.
Yeah.
True. Real.
I love us going down this rabbit hole about
Us
the
being like,
ecosystem of
what's
this
in the
lake.
water? What's in the water there?
Well, and speaking of, we get Ilya's I want to know how you like it, and that's literally me all of the time asking my friends what they think about everything, like when we're at restaurants or when we're watching a show together or when we're doing like anything. I'm like, what are your like I have my own thoughts, but also like what are you thinking? Because like if you're not happy, then like I'm not happy. I need to know what's in your head all of the time.
Right, exactly.
Same.
He's like, what if I had my phone in my pocket after he gets splashed? And Ilya's like, oh no, it's over there. It's been ringing all morning. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
foreshadowing. Oh my
Bro, the way that
god.
I would be like, oh, I probably should go see what's on my phone then. Like, the way that I would be like,
Yeah.
okay, you wait here, I'm gonna go see what's on my phone and what's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I get you don't want to, like, stop the moment, but, like, come on, baby, critical thinking skills. It's been ringing all morning.
And like if your parents know you're on a silent retreat and know not to disturb you, if they're disturbing you, like that has to be important. Like he doesn't know that it's his
Yeah.
parents, but like for me, I'm like if my mom is contacting me, and I get it, my mom is different than other parents because she's older, but I'm like I am always going to answer my mom because I'm like I never know what the fuck is happening. Like so, hey, there was the time that I got the call that someone in my family died, like, and I have that anxiety. I don't know how Shane's not like, oh my god, because he answered that freaking call of Hayden when they're playing games. Like you can go see who the fuck's calling you when you're in the water. Like come on, bro. It stresses me out.
Bro, it stresses me out too. Especially since, like, I feel like it's a little OOC, like, of Shane, like, of what we know about him, which, I mean, like, some of this is a little OOC, but, like, it
That means
asks you
out
to
of character.
out of character, oh, I'm sorry. It asks you to suspend a little bit of disbelief when you are
He's in love.
encountering.
When you're in love, you are stupid. We said this last
We keep saying this.
I,
We've been saying this since episode 1.
because it's true.
Because it's true.
Then we get the pasta mention again. I said it earlier. Again, Canadian moment.
Or
I know
hot
it's
dogs.
a Canadian. Yeah, I know it's a Canadian show. But then, how did they not see David as they're walking up? Like it's David jump scared, but how? Like how come it's like they're? I don't know.
The sun.
You think
So
so?
the sun, yeah. the sun is in their faces. So that means that the house, from where they are, there's a lot of light coming into their eyes, and the house looks darker than the outside. So that's
I was also thinking that David, like, I mean, they like kind of are like fucking around a little bit on the patio. So like, and it really seems like David just walks in. So like,
mm-hmm.
we know how small like the crossway from the door to that area is because we've seen Shane and Ilya do it.
Yeah.
So I really don't think that like it was. And also the doors are probably closed, so they can't even hear like the door open. So it was probably literally he just like walked in and wasn't looking and then looked up and was like,
Yep.
oh!
Yeah, or maybe like they were looking at their reflection at first and not looking in the house, because I do that sometimes where I'm like looking at my reflection in a glass and then there's someone on the other side and then I'm like,
yeah, you're like
oh,
foregrounding
shit.
it versus backgrounding it.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get actual panic attack Shane coming out, and I want to quote this tweet. It's from Ilya Cigarette, who's referencing a video that Jacob Tierney gave, and I'll link the tweet and the full YouTube video if I can find it. But it's basically saying that as Shane is having this breakdown, Hudson improvised this reaction to them getting caught by his dad at the cottage, and Jacob says that what Hudson brought to the table was more interesting, surprising, and full of life than his idea, because Hudson brought more to this reaction than what Jacob originally had planned or what was in his head. And so Jacob is really talking about what Hudson brought to this that was really great for Shane. I mean, of course, it's not a great situation, but the acting is great. And so what this tweet is saying about it's everything with Shane is so internalized until it's not. Like when Shane panics, he really panics. Like Ilya jokes about him being panic attack, but this is a real moment. And it's very true to the fact that Shane is autistic, because you can really see him trying to ground himself and cling onto something for support. And he's grabbing either Ilya or the window or the furniture, and it's really indicative of an overwhelm, of like a sensory overload moment. There's multiple times both here and in other moments where Shane crouches into the fetal position, and I've seen this written in fics as well, and it's for me it's very real, of the like wanting to like hug yourself, like be like not be small, but like contain yourself, like have some control and ground yourself. And I really thought that he has such a visceral reaction to this, and I'm like, yes, this is exactly how it feels when something is like the plans go wrong, like everything goes to shit. I've been in such a nasty situation with like the girls I was dating in high school. It was a really bad time, but I just felt so. I was like, yeah, this is such an accurate representation of what it would be. It's not just like an oh fuck, let me run outside and go do it. It's just like the fight. I know there's more than just fight or flight or whatever. There's like the freeze and the whatever else, and he's just so stuck in this moment. And so I will link this breaking this down a little bit, but I really felt seen by this panic, and I think that it is so real, and it's so like yeah, this is what it would feel like. And I'm surprised that in the long game we don't see it as much. I know that Shane has a bit more control over himself and his emotions a little bit, but I really thought that we would get more of this in the long game as more and more people like closer to them find out. But I guess Shane just lost control of the situation in this moment, and he had told Ilya before that he doesn't really know what they would think, and they would maybe be supportive, but he wanted to ease them into it and kind of take it baby steps. And this was just like a full send, hard launch, like absolutely like rocket launch of a situation.
It's a beautiful scene, and I thank you for bringing that interview up. It's a beautiful thing. It's so super well acted. It's so real. I agree with you, and I also do the crouching down and hanging up to stuff. And at the same time, I'm constantly thinking during this scene about the fact that they just came up from the lake. They're probably cold, wet, and smelly. So I cannot focus on like I can't. It's just super powerful scene, but at the same time there's a part of my brain that is focusing on the sensory part of it, and I'm like
fuckery of being.
Yeah, can you please take a shower before you go to your parents and come out, because I
It's
need
so
you
real.
to be
So
clean.
true.
No, and like no, I also have like always done this thing when I get like really overwhelmed. I like find like the smallest place I can like crouch myself into, which is oftentimes like on the floor of a closet, and and like just like get through it.
Yeah.
And my mom caught me doing it like recently, probably like within the past couple of years, and she was like, "Have you always done this?" And I was like, "Yes." Like, this has always been like a self-soothing thing that I've always done. So like, what are you talking about? I've always done this.
And speaking of soothing, I love what Ilya is doing here. He's waiting for permission to touch Shane, and then he's the tone of his voice, the way he grounds Shane and helps him navigate this panic attack, marvelous. Absolutely beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is scary, but you're brave.
Oh, no, not me seeing a drawing. I cannot remember who the artist was, but if I can find it, it was like somebody drew a comic or like fan art of Irina telling Ilya the same thing when he was a child.
Yeah,
like,
I saw it.
Just rip me apart, literally.
Yep.
I was gonna throw in about being brave, about like do it scared, of like you can do hard things.
Mm-hmm.
That was really going through my mind, which like sometimes that's not a helpful thought. I have tried to tell that to people, and it's like still really difficult to get through, and it's not a helpful piece of advice. But sometimes like when you know situations are getting hard, kind of like I feel like getting ready for this kind of situation, that like you can do hard things, gives you that kind of confidence that you need to get through it. And I think that's what Ilya is giving here, and it's really sweet.
Yeah, and I love, and maybe it's time to wake up. It's a beautiful phrase. Like,
yeah,
it's also about taking back control. Like,
yeah,
this is my nightmare. Maybe it's time to wake up. Maybe it's time for us to get you out of this nightmare and reframe the narrative. I love it.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, like, unfortunately, like, this is Shane being outed in some way, shape, or form, and it's like that takes a lot of like autonomy away from him in this like really pivotal and like big a moment, you know. And like, unfortunately, it's something we talked about in the last episode, but like Shane never really gets to come out on his own terms, you know. Like, he's outed here to David and Yuna. He's outed. I mean, he kind of like tells what's going on because David doesn't share, which is shout out to David. But like when he and Ilya come out in when they're outed like pretty brutally in the long game. So like Shane doesn't get autonomy over that.
We get into the car. We get the I love this being funny at moments of desperation.
Yeah.
If you could hear my family and I. Like, the things we said while my grandmother was dying. Colombia is a country that survives through humor. And I always appreciate when I see that represented in narratives. How I love Ilya saying like, well, maybe he didn't notice. And then,
bro,
they don't know me for Boston. And then when Shane is like, maybe you should wait in the car. And Ilya's like,
his face, real. That's so like, real.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll stay in the car.
Like, again, with their nonverbal communication.
Yeah, and at the same time, he's tender, he's comforting, but he is adding a bit of comedy. And he always does that when Shane is losing it. And I like it. I identify with it. That's me. That's how I deal with difficult situations. So if you're ever going through it and you hear me crack a joke, know that is my way to take care of you. That is my love language during distress. Yeah. And I know this scene cracks us all up. Like that scene at the living room. But I love it's me, Shane. And he's like saying that to himself as well. Like, it's me. Like,
aww.
It's your son. Like, you know me. And
yeah.
Because he's so scared.
He's so
But also, like, they just watched him pull up. They just watched him walk in the door, like, walk up the driveway. Like, they know it's you, bro. It's not gonna be anyone else. And then they're standing there in the mom, I threw up position.
Yeah, that's why I think he's saying it, like, not only, like, the person entering your home is your son, but also, even after what you saw, it's still me.
It's still Shane. Me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then
we get
this is Ilya Rosanov. But you knew that?
You already knew that.
Yeah.
Lovers.
Lovers.
Lover. He's ill. No, Ilya, no. We're gross.
Shane is so locked in this moment, and he's like calmed down a bit externally. I mean, internally he's still a maelstrom, I'm sure, but he's very like point blank. Let's get to business about this. Like he's like down the arrow, like very. This is what it is. Like we are together. Like I feel like he's very about. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing a gesture, like very like forward with this, if you know what I mean.
Let's get down to business
Yes.
to
To
defeat
defeat
the
the Hun.
Hun.
To tell our parents we're gay.
Yeah. They say friendly with Rozanov, and then Ilya corrects to Ilya, and David says Ilya sorry. Like, oh, we love David.
We love David.
So we get the since rookie season.
Us
They're being
mentioned.
mentioned.
Yes, hi, it's us. Hello.
But also I wanted to say, like, Ilya and Yuna, they're monarchs of comedy. Like the way the lovers is brought back to the conversation,
It's
and
so
they're
funny.
like in sync. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Yuna is starting to really like Ilya at this point, because she's like, this man has spark. I like it.
Just and Ilya's like hiding in his cup, and Shane's gives him a warning, like Ilya, and
He's
Yuna's like
do not tell my mom that we've been fucking.
like Yuna just goes like oh with realization, and it breaks the tension, and I can't help but laugh out loud every single time.
Yeah,
It cracks me up so bad. And also Ilya pays this huge compliment to David with the good vodka. Like to him, that's such a good compliment. Come on.
Yeah, and I love and there were no nice men in Montreal.
Uh.
And Shani's like, I'm sure they were.
But I only had eyes for this one.
I've only been in love with one person.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
I wish.
I'll throw up.
Also, I wanted to talk about, did you ever let him win? Do you ever let dad win at cards? And I think nobody's asking Ilya. And let me preface this by saying I love Yuna. I love this one. But nobody's asking Ilya if he let Shane win. And that is never a concern of others.
Right.
So, to me, there is something there about who is considered to bow to the other in the way a relationship is perceived. And in a straight relationship, it usually is the woman. And in here, like, Yuna is assuming that Shane could probably, but they think of Ilya as this very aggressive player. So they're not even considering that.
Yeah.
And I am glad that Shane like shuts that up immediately.
I also love the "Did you let dad win at cards" moment, because and Yuna responds, "Oh, I'd rather die," like instantly. I think Shane gets so much of himself from Yuna. It's really awesome, because that's how he knows how to like meet her at that level and like explain to her how important like winning at hockey is. It's like obviously it's like this. How else can I like meet you to a feeling that you understand of this concern that she had? And I thought that was really funny. And he just gets so much of his competitive edge from her, and like that's when the momager is out. Like when no, the momager comes back later, but that is where he's trying to meet the momager. I also love that Ilya takes all of his cues from Shane during this convo, like checking in with him, like looking at him. They read each other so well. And again, back to that non-verbal communication of like talking with their faces. We get more foot touches. Like, and I just think that Ilya is just looking at him, because he knows how big this is. He just knows. And so they're like silent communication of how much do we share? What do we tell them? Like, how do we explain this? I think that that's huge for them.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we get the bisexual moment. It takes so much.
You're a ladies' man?
Ilya likes both, but they only have eyes for each other. And I think it takes so much guts to tell, one, your parents, but two, someone else's parents that you're in love. Like, that makes my stomach turn just thinking about it. Like you know, I could tell my friends, I could tell whatever, but I feel like telling parents is so serious at another level. And so for both of them to say this is so brave and so scary and terrifying. Like it stresses me out to think about putting myself in that kind of position. And so I wanted to shout that out there as well.
Yeah, I love this whole scene between the two of them. Like the bisexuality, like part of Ilya is so important. Like, yes, we jokingly call this the gay hockey show, but we can't erase Ilya's identity as a bisexual man. And having that representation is really important. You know, bisexuals are not greedy people or whatever you want to say about us. I love how every episode I add a new layer to my queer identity. And this week I'm going as bisexual.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Sexuality is fluid.
Yeah, exactly. We get our footsies. They just like read each other so well. Like this whole conversation, like even though it is like painful for Shane to get through, like Ilya is just being there, like being support, trying to like I don't think he like intentionally tries to be funny, but I think he is definitely like I don't really know what to say, so this is what I'm gonna say, and if it gets a laugh out of Shane, then I'm happy about it. You know, like it's totally fine. So let's talk Shane and Yuna outside. I just love that Jacob Tierney decided to put in this whole scene Yuna. Like to me that's so important because like I think like just Yuna's response in general because like when we're leading up to this scene with her and Shane, like you can really tell that she's like kind of in shock because like I think she's like finally realizing that like she might have been looking at her child, but she wasn't really seeing him.
Yeah.
And that like she like I don't think she's momager moment in this moment at all. Like I think she is very much like, oh my god, like I've let my kid go through something that is like completely like he's existed in this like very homophobic league for this long and he's had no support and like he didn't feel comfortable coming to tell me about it. Like she looks totally shocked in this scene.
Yeah, I'm gonna quote a tweet here that's referencing a YouTube video. This is from Twitter user Rosanovs with zeros for O's. I'll link it in the show notes. But it says that she was thinking about loving him, obviously, getting him to hockey practice, getting him through all these levels of junior hockey, making sure he does his homework, checking all of the mom boxes, but maybe missing who her son actually is. Like she loves him through and through, absolutely, but I think it's kind of how it is with my mom a little bit of the like my mom loves me, but she doesn't get me. She doesn't understand me. And I think it was a little bit of that with Shane of the like Yuna loves him so much but doesn't totally understand him in a way, if that makes sense.
Right. And I mean, that's really hard for both children and parents to deal with, you know? Like, it really sucks that, like, she, like, realizes it in this moment where, like, Shane is already so anxious, you know? Like, and already having so many emotions and, like, in a way isn't able to act like, I feel like if Shane had finally, like, decided to come forward and be like, you know, I am gay, like, I think he would have been acting a little bit differently. And so now Yuna's not only having to deal with, like, oh my gosh, my son is gay and I haven't realized it yet, but also, like, oh my gosh, my son is having, like, a clear, like, anxiety inducing, like, situation. And I want to make sure that he's okay. So it's, like, double edged.
And I wasn't there for him. I didn't
Right.
notice and I couldn't be there for him. I think that's very hard.
They are so similar. I think that this is such perfect casting. Like,
Yeah.
they sigh at the same time, the way they approach this. And I cry every single fucking time I watch this. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm allowed to be vulnerable for a minute, I'm not like formally out to my family. Like, they might like get an inkling over the years and whatever, or I don't even know if they've discovered that I do this project. But it really destroys me all of the time because like my mom might be okay, which recently it's really funny. She'll get a little wine drunk and she'll be like, Mandy, are you gay? Like, do you have anything you want to tell me? It's okay. Like, are you, and it's so funny. And I'll be like, I will talk about this with you when you are sober. And then she never talks about it when she's sober. But, and I would be okay with my mom knowing, but I think it's the rest of my family knowing is the issue. And at this point, I'm so kind of over it that I'm like, I'm so tired of it that if they find out, they fucking find out. And I don't care anymore. But all of that was to say that I cry every time, for real. Because it's just so heartbreaking. But also it's so comforting. And to be like, I'm sorry that you couldn't tell me, you felt like you couldn't tell me. I don't know. It just really gets me every time.
Yeah, there's something I want to say about this is I'm now at that point in life where people around me want to have kids, people in my generation, and I always ask people like, okay, are you ready for a full human with these complexities to come, like, to bring someone to life? Because and I remember having this conversation with both my brother and my partner's friends in like the same week. I was telling them like, okay, do you know what to do if your child
like comes out as gay?
No, but I was like, you know, it's like a lottery, right? Like humans are so complex and diverse that you can get anything in the combination of genetics. And I was like, are you ready to accommodate to all types of mobility? Are you ready to accommodate to all kinds of brains? Are you ready
Yeah.
for them to not be straight, to not be cis? Because if the answer of any of this is no, you have work to do. And it
Right.
should be your
Exactly.
responsibility to maybe not know it all before it comes, before the baby is born, but at least have thought about it and have considered that anything is possible with a human and they're gonna be their own person. And so when Yuna says, sorry, I made you feel that like you couldn't tell me,
You couldn't tell me.
I also think like it's not only about him being ashamed and all the reasons why one can stay in the closet. It's also the fact that the having to say it, having to come out, means that you assumed that there was a normal and I deviated. So there was no, and I really love Yuna. This is not like criticizing Yuna. It's just saying like what is very frustrating about having to come out is the fact that I wouldn't have to do that if I was straight, because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
what I'm doing when I come out, and that is the part that sucks for all of us, is to confront the fact that I wasn't raised with this expectation and you didn't have that expectation. So it's not only like, because you can tell that David and Yuna have always been very supportive, and Shane knows that they're not homophobic and that they have nothing against having a gay child.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fact that he still has to announce it, because
Right.
there was never an open door
Right.
to both possibilities. There was never like, are you dating someone, a boy, a girl,
Right.
so I think that's part of what is really really frustrating about being queer, is that most of our parents, even when they were super open, even if they
Yeah.
were not, like, even in the cases like my family is not homophobic, but the fact that I have to announce something that my
Mm-hmm.
siblings didn't have to announce, that I have to go through that because it's not
Mhm.
in the realm of possibilities that you presented me with, that is what is frustrating to me. And that is a barrier that exists even in the most open of families. And I hope that the next generations start destroying that a bit, and building new ways of presenting the future to their children. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not about coming out, it's just about talking to your parents about a crush, or about not having crushes because you might be in the A spectrum, or being confused because you like two people and suddenly it's like a girl and a boy. I don't know. It's like, if you could just, if the thing that you had to disclose is mostly that you have feelings for someone, and not the
Yeah.
fact that your identity goes in a very different way from what everyone is telling you that is going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
there is one thing less to worry about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I also
Absolutely.
love in
Yeah.
this moment we get the look at me,
Mm,
which is a very autism moment because, like I said, eye contact is so difficult, especially in these hard situations, and we
ugh.
know how Shane loves to avoid that. And so, her knowing that's him struggling with it and says, "Look at
Yeah.
me." If I said that this scene is the best change from the book, because I don't believe that we get this in the book, or at least anything close to it, and so that I
I
think
don't
that
think
this
so.
is probably the best change from the book is the addition
Mm.
of this, because
Yeah.
it is so, and then we get the enough, what is the plan, like businesswoman Yuna, that's my
Yes.
momager.
Love over my life. Yeah.
And next
Exactly.
scene, she is planning, plotting, strategizing while Ilya is doing his shimmy pasta dance.
Oh my god, yes. I love this like moment for Ilya. Like I love this like whole arc. Like Una Holland or like Chris Jenner and the Devil work hard, but Una Hollander works harder. Like that
Hmm?
she is on top of it. Like and I love to see that support from her. Like and it's like
Yeah.
the way that she knows how to support Shane, right? And so it's like very classic, like, okay, I can reach out to the endorsements. I 100% think she does this still, even though Shane's like, whoa,
Yeah.
like let's wait on it,
Let's go back like a whole year. One
Right,
second.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then she's back to the emotional part when she's like, "That's so sad. You're gonna
Yeah.
stay like hidden until you retire."
Right, exactly. No, there is a thread that I found by Esther Perel, who's a psychotherapist, but she talks about like how heated rivalry is a corrective experience and how like there are so many points in this show where things could go really bad. Like we get, Shane outed,
Mhm.
Rose and him break up, all of these things. But like Shane ultimately like still has all of these corrective experiences that like viewers might not have. Like he has a supportive dad. He doesn't get like fired from his job. His mom apologizes. His situationship becomes more. He said like Ilya says I love you back. Like there are endless examples in this show of like intentional choices where it could have been like negative or bad. And Renato Voci also is kind of quoting what Perel is saying, but like we're conditioned to not only expect the worst, but we're also like looking for the worst in everything to protect ourselves. It like closes us off. It like mirrors our bad experiences, but like offering us a corrective experience helps us heal because it shows us a different way. And those experiences in life, and especially in culture primed by popular media, are like able to then like help us like really heal on like our multiple like different levels. It's in the same way that kind of like meeting a soulmate brings out the best in you because of the mirror that they hold up. This show is an absolute like corrective funhouse experience of mirrors. And so like you can't control accidents, a canceled flight, your power going out in the middle of a recording, but you absolutely can like talk about how it like you can absolutely like change how you respond to that, how like you act in the next time that happens or whatever, or how you prepare for this next moment. And so it's just a very like it's super important because corrective experiences bring out the best in us. It shows us what our traumatic past, our expectations are. It gives us an alternative experience and it helps us soothe anxiety in this alternate reality over and over again. And so I think that is one of the reasons why this scene with Yuna, this whole episode is like so powerful, is because it helps all of us as viewers like heal from this trauma in a certain way.
Yeah, and on
Absolutely.
that note, you're talking about that, and I'm remembering when Heartstopper first came out. There were a couple of articles about what eventually got baptized as the Heartstopper syndrome, and it refers to older queer people that were watching the show, like millennials who are already adults and were watching this teenage show and getting like very depressed and having to go through a huge process of dealing with the fact that this show brought them queer joy, but at the same time, they were grieving not having been part of this sort of story when they were young. And that's also something that is tackled by the show in their second season with two adults who talk about that and who talk about coming out later in life and how queer people sort of have like a second adolescence because we didn't get to experience a lot of things when we were teenagers, so our brains are like, okay, time to experience all of that. So I do think that those, like, this idea of the corrective experience is so important, especially after
Mm-hmm.
consuming so many years of kill your gaze, so
Yeah.
many years of queer baiting. To
Mm-hmm.
finally have things not go completely wrong is
Yeah.
healing, but it's very important that we remember that healing can be painful at first.
Yes.
So if you're feeling pain from seeing this and not being able to relate to Shane and having a very different experience with your family, know that that is natural to feel that way, that it makes sense, because it's a sad thing to not be able to find that comfort and support in your family, but also know that a lot of us outside are there for you, and that family can take many shapes and forms, and that you will find your community. Just keep looking. But this won't be just a positive experience for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's very important that your brain learns that queer experience is not only tragedy, and that
Yes.
that you can find joy even in the difficulties that it entails. There is a lot of joy in this community and in this experience, and you deserve that joy.
Yeah, and I think Ilya's story really models that like really
Mm-hmm.
well throughout this show. Like he has a family that unfortunately rejects him, but by the end of this series, he has, you know, this new found family. You know, that's what we always refer to it as in queer culture. I know so many queer people who have left the toxicity of their biological family behind and really found like beautiful community outside of that. And like all I wish for our listeners, for people who watch Heated Rivalry, who like are queer and not out or whatever, like I just wish that you have someone to be a support for you, whether they're physically next to you or in the same town as you or in the same city or they are your internet friends. I want you, I wish a found family for you. I wish a support system for you. I hope that you find what Ilya does in this story, and like not necessarily even in a romantic sense, but like all of the
Yeah.
support that he gains even through the end of it.
Yeah,
And shout out
absolutely.
to internet friends.
Shout out to
Yeah.
internet friends.
But okay, I do want to caveat that conversation with AI is not your friend, though. Please
No,
do
no, no,
not
no,
talk
no.
to AI chatbots.
Human
Human
internet
people.
friends like us.
Human
That's
internet
how we
friends.
met. This
Right.
podcast is brought to you by human internet
Internet
interaction.
friends. Yes, I am not saying
Absolutely.
do not do AI friends. That is so fucking weird.
Just
Get
DM
those
someone.
clankers off my
It's really
internet.
not good. It's really not good for you in the long run. It's bad for
Yeah.
your mental health. Please don't do it.
It's bad for your mental health. If you want some friends, interact with us on our socials. We'll be your friend.
Hit us up.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wanted to vouch the community again because I like moving when I moved to Orlando for school and like finding a queer community there, granted after a bit of the pandemic passed, but it was so integral for my happiness and well-being and understanding of myself and my confidence to find other queer people, and that is so quintessential. Like I being in my early now to mid 20s, like understanding myself and my needs and my social needs, like queer community is so important. And I just moved again, I moved out of Orlando and out of that queer space, and now I'm in a place where it was previously, I was thinking about this a lot today, previously this place that I'm in was known as like a queer haven or a gay haven, but mostly for gay men. There are no sapphic spaces here where I'm at, and I'm now feeling that because I'm surrounded by straight people or people who are like very like cishet, and I am finding myself missing my queer people. Like when I went to visit Lauren, it was so refreshing to be surrounded again by queer people and who have this understanding and this shared experience as me. And being the online spaces are nice, and yet also on my day to day when it's just cishet people, it can get a little tiring, especially when like I am she heard every day at work, and I'm like,
Yep.
I haven't told them because I don't see it as necessarily like relevant or important, especially if I'm not there long term. But it is to me a little bit of like, oh right, I'm not fully myself here. And so having those spaces you can fully be yourself, either online or in person, is so critical, crucial, and important. And surrounding yourself with those kind of people can go such a long distance for your mental health. And so even if you need to like have some other hobby where you find a queer space, like I found a lot of queer people with like content creators that I was following online, or like different fandom spaces. And sure, there are their own problems in some of those, like toxic spaces, but also like you could go to like a ceramics class or your local art gallery or trivia or bingo, like something. Like go find your people, I swear to God. And I needed to get on that soapbox for a minute because it's something that has been on my mind.
Thank you, Seaweed Brain Book Club. We love you. It's one of the most amazing queer spaces that I have found. I enjoy it
For
so
sure.
much.
Yeah. Speaking of people, straight people experiencing queer spaces, we get Shane's. I don't know how to transition, so I'm saying that. Shane freaks out. Ilya helps him regulate. And this is huge for Yuna and David. Like we get their different shots of their reactions because for Shane and Ilya, this is like this is a normal interaction for them, or this is like a very natural, like they all of a sudden David and Yuna aren't there and this is just them. But we get shots of David and Yuna's faces of them like looking at each other, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, this is a really fresh perspective here. By now, like, they are kind of an established relationship as Holinov, and Yuna and David think they're new, but this shows that they're not new. Like, they're not new to each other. They might be new to Yuna and David, they are not new to each other. And so Ilya knowing exactly how to comfort Shane and exactly knowing what to say and knowing what he needs, and it's so natural for them, like, that is so mind-blowing for them. And I think that it is the final proof. I mean, not that they needed proof, but this is another piece of evidence for them of like, oh, this is real, this is not a prank, there are not hidden cameras, like, this is I mean, there's kind of hidden cameras because it's a show, but this is just further illustrating how deep this goes for them. And I really appreciated that moment of showing them of what it means for each other, and also us mention again since rookie season the summer before.
Yay!
T?
We get the please text, which it's like, oh, we don't need to text. It's like, no, please text for the love of God. Please fucking text.
For the love of fucking Christ.
David is like, we will text.
That also means Shay needs to check his phone, because David probably was texted for, and we saw how that went.
And they say, please check your phones.
Yeah.
They do.
And we drive into the sunset, which is another callback. Again, that was a brief chapter, but we're getting a new chapter. And I will say, y'all said this earlier, I'm gonna push back a little bit. It's not a happy ending. Them driving into the sunset, it might be cliche, but I don't think Holinov get a happy ending here. I saw people online.
No, it's not. So romance novels have to have a happy ending in some way, shape, or form. But they have a happy for now. That's their ending. Happy for now. And so it is, in a way, still a happy ending. In order for it to be a romance novel, it has to have a happy ending. I totally appreciate all of the fans who are writing, like, angst and all of these things in fandom, and, you know, like, there is definitely plenty of space for that in fan fiction and in fandom traditions. But y'all, like, it gotta have a happy ending if you're gonna call it a romance novel.
I wish we got the epilogue, but, like, I really do love this as a final shot, but that is a difference from the book, is that there's no epilogue.
So T, I think they're gonna do the epilogue as, like, a little holdover episode, because they keep kind of teasing it.
Really?
Like the dinner with Hayden? Because it could be, like, really small set then. It's not like having to tell Kyle and Eric's story, you know, that's like a bigger story. But if they do the epilogue, like, I think that would be a very cute holdover.
Yep.
Any further thoughts about the sunset or no?
No, I think
I love Bad Things. It's like my get up and dance in the morning playlist. Like, it's so
the soundtrack of this season was immaculate. I love it.
Also, not them all sobbing in the car in the front seats. Like, retweet. Same retweet.
Me during this episode the entire time.
Literally,
I had to take a lap taking notes for this. I had to take a lap. I had to pause. I had to go clear my head a little bit. It gets me every time.
Yeah, we were texting like, so many emotions at once. What I'm supposed to do with it?
Yeah, real.
Yeah. Wow. Right. So, I mean,
we finished.
Unfortunately, we reached the end of the series. Like, are we gonna still have a podcast, guys? What's going on? What's next?
We have so many plans. Secret, evil, devious plans. Evil gay plans.
We have plenty of episodes that are coming to you very soon. We have plenty of great things coming up. We don't have fan mail today, but we would love fan mail for any of our upcoming episodes. We're going to be releasing them, like, basically the week before, just to kind of keep you on your toes. But if you have any fan mail that you would like to talk about the Game Changers book, or, like, anything that you wish had gone into the show, that is our topic for next week. So we're so excited to break down Scott and Kip's story in another way. And we're so excited to embark on our next kind of journey in this podcast.
Yeah, this has been so fun. I have been loving and looking forward to my rewatches every week. I'm looking forward to talking with y'all more. Books is really where my heart lies. Like, I love books so much, and so I'm excited to get into a little bit of book coverage. But
I will be yelling about books. I will be yelling about books and
I
how
expect no less.
People need to read better books. But that's gonna come to you next week.
I will be bringing, maybe, perhaps, probably, yes, my 10 years of study of literature to the table.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Val and I are At first, we are at first we are literature scholars.
Yeah.
That is our home. That is where we
Yeah.
belong.
Yeah, but we have some really fun episodes coming out. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like I keep collecting little bits of pieces that I want to reference for later on, and we've been teasing some of the episodes like throughout some of our episodes, and
Yeah.
I am so excited to get there and use the little critical thinking skills that I have and rant about different things like decolonizing your identity. It's a whole thing. I'm so excited.
No, and we're gonna have really great guests too. So that's
Oh my God,
even
yes!
better.
Not
coming
just
to you.
our voices in your ears.
Not
We're
just
gonna
our
have
voices. We're gonna have maybe some friends, maybe some fans, maybe some academics.
Ooh.
It's all coming very soon.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
So stay tuned to those socials. Stay tuned here. I can't wait.
Can't wait.
All right. We will see you next week in New York. We're back in New York. New York.
We're
baby.
back in New York.
Take care, loonies.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Since Rookie Season is created by Lauren, Lau, and Amanda. Cover art is by Lauren and Lau, and Amanda is our editor. Thanks for listening.